easy being me. Mike, it gets hard. A lot. Which doesn't really make a difference. But, is it hard being me? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it has its benefits.
A lot of people ask me what the fuck I've been at the last few years. Shit, I don't know. But I do know. I'm back now.
Yeah, down here, under the ground, dig me up. Broken tibias, fibias, yeah, fix me up. 60 sluts, all of them dying from asphyxia after they sit pissed through a Christopher Reeve sippy cup. Dixie cups, toxins, boxes of oxypads, enough oxycontin to send a fucking ox to rehab. Whack top in the back and a black stocking cap, jacking off to a hockey mask and a boxing match. Can't say that, yes he can. I just did faggot and I guess again. Better text message your next to kin. Tell him shit's about to get extra messy, especially when I flex again. Throw a fucking lesbian and Wetsy mix. Faggity, 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 raggedy, Ann and Andy. No, raggedy Andy and Andy. No, it can't be, it can't be. Yes, it can be. The fucking Antichrist's back. Danny is Satan and Black Sabbath.
You're burning your life to the fullest. Because the killer bull got a pistol, motherfucker, better pull it. And even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a young G. I'm getting money. You're burning your life to the fullest. Because the killer bull got a pistol, motherfucker, better pull it. And even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a young G. I'm getting money.
Take semen sample, 17 strands of hair found in the back of a van after the shoot with Vanity Fair. Hannah Montana prepared it with low for the can opener and be cut open like cantaloupe. But can it be bad? Some glad bags, yeah, glad to be back. Cause last year was a tragedy that landed me smack dab in rehab. Fucking doctor, I ain't understand a damn what he said. I plan to relapse the second I walked out of that bitch. 2 weeks of Brighton, I ain't enlightened. Biting into a fucking Viking and like him a Viking. Oh, lightning to strike, it might be a fucking sign. I need a psyche evaluation. Fuck Jason, it's Friday the 19th. That means it's just a regular day. And this is the kind of shit I think of regular leg. Fucking lesbian shouldn't have had her legs in the way. Now she's pregnant and gay, missing both legs and begging to stay.
You're burning your life to the fullest. Because the killer bull got a pistol, motherfucker, better pull it. And even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a young G. I'm getting money. You're burning your life to the fullest. Because the killer bull got a pistol, motherfucker, better pull it. And even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a young G. I'm getting money, money, money. Get paid, nigga. I'm getting money.
Is it hard being me? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it has its benefits. Dirty whores. Throwing at you. At will.
You're burning your life to the fullest. Because the killer bull got a pistol, motherfucker, better pull it. And even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a young G. I'm getting money, money. I'm getting money. Yeah, that's right, boy. I'm getting money.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic, and we putting it on wax. It's the news time.
world through my rear view. Just looking back at the world from another level, you know what I mean? Staring. Multiple gunshots, split a block, the fun stops. Snitches was calling cops, people shot, nobody stopped. I wonder when the world stopped staring. Last night you get shot while the whole block staring. I will never understand this society. But they try to murder me, then they lie to me. Product of a Don breed, all my homies try to weed. Now the little baby's crazy, based off fantasy. Tell me when my enemies flee when they see me. Even thugs gotta learn to take it easy. Listen, through the intermission, stretch your heart for a plan. We turning bad boys to grown men. It's on again, I give a holler to my niggas in the darkest corners. Roll a perfect blunt and let me spark it for you. One love from a thug nigga, rolling with a posse full of paranoid drug dealers. To the end, my friend, I'm seeing nothing but my dreams coming true. While I'm staring at the world through my rear view. See, I'm seeing nothing but my dreams coming true. While I'm staring at the world through my rear view. They got me staring at the world through my rear view. Going back and scream to God, he can't hear you. I can feel your heart beating fast, guess it's time to die. Getting high, watch the time fly. And all my motherfuckers staring at the world through my rear view. Going back and scream to God, he can't hear you. I can feel your heart beating fast, guess it's time to die. Getting high, watch the time fly. All my motherfuckers.
Now you see them, now you don't. Some niggas be here for the moment, and then they gone. What happened to them? Well, let's see. It seems to be a mystery. But all I know, I never let the money get to me. Stay down like the truest thug life until I check out this bitch. I thought you knew this. Who was gonna catch me when I fall or even care to? Why you thinking I see you lost up in my rear view? Half you is down with them outlaws. Outcasts last fall, a few like southpaws. But still we keep mashing till our dreams come through. Stepping out the world through my rear view.
Now I was raised a young black man. In order to get paid, crack sales. Caught a nigga, so they sent me to these overpack jails. In a cell, counting days in the slipping black hell. Do you feel me? Keys to ignition, use at your discretion. Roll with a 12-gauge pump for protection.
Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
The bitches, they love visuals.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
What is going on? WTF Nation Radio's Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Broadcasting live. Functional Veteran Center of Excellence here today on this 28 January. 28 January, dude. God.
I know. 1 month down.
Oh, man. It's like, God. Unreal.
You know what the funny thing I learned about today was?
Oh, you're peeking on your mic.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, man, pull away from my face.
Yeah. About to say, dude, you're excited about today. I know you got some news and shit going on.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of good news. What's funny is after 35 days of not being at work, people on a Monday still came in miserable. Like everyone out walking around.
Your job sucks.
I was happy because, you know, I can actually do my job when other people are at their jobs because we work with other agencies. And, you know, I was kind of at a standstill, just staring at Facebook going, I want to do work. I can't do work. And then starting from, you know, I kind of let it go in the beginning. I'm like, you know, people haven't had their coffee. You know, it's early in the morning. I got you. No problem. But then people kept getting, you know, being crab apples the whole day. And I'm like, weren't you all ones complaining, let me work? And then you come to work and you're like, oh my God, why am I here?
So you literally had people that were like that. They were bitching about not having a job, and now they're bitching about going to work.
I had a couple of friends that are on the other side of the big building I work at, and different bureaus. And I went down. I was like, hey, welcome back, man. Mondays. I'm like, dude, paycheck. Shut up.
I know, right?
Weren't you on your Facebook going, man, these politicians need to do their job so I can go back to work? And then now you're here, you're just, oh my god.
Yeah, but wasn't there like some missed paychecks and shit? I mean,
I could tell you from what my particular department is doing. There was a memo that came out with freaking ask questions right now, since our department is currently on a off cycle. Because we get paid every 2 weeks. So currently we're on an off cycle now when it comes to the paycheck. So what they're doing is they had all these managers processing all these payments and stuff like that to get everyone as close as possible to the paycheck they were owed for the last 2 paychecks they missed. So the cutoff date, everyone's going to be paid by Thursday.
Huh? Well, that's a normal payday anyways, right?
Well, I mean, we get paid on technically for at least for my folks, we get paid I have USAA, haha. So I got paid today, but usually we get paid on Tuesdays or whatnot. But they, for the folks that have missed, paychecks or whatnot, by this Thursday, they're gonna have as close as possible their whole paycheck, and what's left, because they're still because we're in the middle of a pay period. What they don't get now, which is, they're trying to get really close, so maybe a couple $100. What they don't get now will show up in that next paycheck. So they're trying to push it out as quick as possible. Now, I've seen a couple of other memos from secretaries from from different departments, like USDA, the Department of Urban Development, stuff like that, where they're similar things where they're trying to pump this out as quickly as possible to get everyone that back pay. And what they don't, what they're kind of doing it we're getting that that 8-digit grid. So they're getting that 8-digit grid. We're gonna get you close enough, and then we're in the next paycheck we're gonna get tighter. So we're starting there. So it was good. A lot of people are gonna start getting paid in the next day or two. So hopefully by Thursday everyone's gonna be paid. But it's just it's strange. People complain so much that they want to go back to work, and then they're there and everyone's miserable. I'd be happy. You ever see that GIF that has Leonardo DiCaprio and he's walking, he's swinging his arms, he's all happy? That'd be me. I'm sorry, that's two whole paychecks you're missing.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, I forgot to say, hi guys. Damn, dude, I'm totally.
What's going on, everybody in Mixer, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and on our Facebook on both the main page, US Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio.
What's up, Ross? What's up, Mike? What's up, Ari? What's up? Aries? That's not Aries. What's up, Jake? My man, Jake.
Everyone got your drinks?
What's up? Yeah, everyone's got their drink. What's up, Cal? What's up, Body Bag? Oh man, all the faves, all the faves are in there now. They're just coming in. I see a bunch of smiley faces, hearts, and all this other shit. Dude, your mic is really peaking, man. I'm trying not to.
Well, see, I got that. I'm on my off. I'm doing my improvised recording, so I just got to keep it away from my mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You like shit.
No, but going on, Jake, Mike, at Bitcoin.
Yeah, he likes shit around his mouth. Yeah.
I've done something else in the last 2 days. Don't call anyone a pheasant, because they will lose their minds.
Okay. I was kind of it's normally within WTF Nation Radio's policy that we don't go after any single individual. However, there was was that just a made up name or something like that? You just decided to throw out there?
So what had happened was, and I won't throw out specific names if you go to Twitter and you can find it out for yourself, but a certain reporter, actually 2 different reporters, were kind of knocking on a former retired colonel who has been touting his deployment to Kosovo post-peace treaty thing as his OIF deployment, because it had OIF on. Yeah, it's so there's apparently this guy wrote a book and was touting being he never had command and stuff like that, but he was touting his deployment, and his deployment was to Kosovo, but not like Kosovo when Kosovo was actually Hillary Clinton. We were dodging sniper fire.
No, that's
like
Bosnia. That's Bosnia. That was Bosnia.
That whole area,
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
But he was touting it like that, and not like it was the fobbit that he was.
Well, OEF was only like it was OEF Afghanistan, OEF Iraq before it became Iraqi Freedom, OEF Africa, OEF the Philippines, and there was one more. There was five OEFs. I can't remember which one it was. I don't remember what the fifth one was, or what OEF on that was. I think that was the OEF. It was the Noble Eagle. That was the one that we were talking about back in the day, about 9/11.
So what had happened was I was watching the back and forth, and somewhere where one of the reporters was like, "Hey, show us your, if you have nothing to hide, show us your Afghanistan medal. Show us your DD-14 that has it on there. We don't believe you." And the guy's like, "Well, I have my DD-214. I have it right next to me in a binder, and I have it on my phone." I don't know. I had been drinking, but I read on there.
There we go.
I replied, "I bet you laminate your DD-214, you pheasant." Just, I've been watching the show called Letterkenny. They use it as kind of an insult, kind of like a weak sauce kind of insult. So, I was like, I bet you laminate your DD-214.
Oh, that's where that came from. Okay, I was getting confused. I was like, what the fuck does president?
But it's just like, what? It wasn't like I wasn't trying to just like, it wasn't it's not like I was calling him goat fucker or something. I was going for something just kind of like I told one person, like a knuckle curve. Like, it was just something like, what? But that was it. Like, nothing behind it. So, apparently, people got offended by two different things. One, there are those that laminate their DD-214s, which I do not recommend that. But
because it can any alterations to the DD-214 renders it void.
So there's some folks like, well, I have my retirement card, my military ID is laminated. I was like, they don't laminate military IDs anymore. My retirement card. And like,
the retired card. Yeah, the retired.
I was like, yeah, okay, got you. I was like,
there's
one guy. I was like, okay, cool, congrats. I was like, but they don't laminate your military IDs anymore. I knew what he was talking about, but what he said was different. And then people are like, pheasant. Oh, why are you calling him a pheasant? And the person in question even retweeted and go, why would you call me a pheasant? Like I had insulted his ancestors. And then it just spiraled off because he is of a certain leaning that is not the left. And he's got his whole crew of followers that have 10 or 15 followers a piece, and some were, trying to, well, this is the dumbest thing ever. And I'm just like, I call him a pheasant. Y'all are freaking out. Like I called him a goat fucker. Like, calm down. I didn't say he eats babies and he punched Jesus as a baby. I just called him a pheasant. Then people are losing their shit. So I was still having too much fun. One person that actually started attacking me ended up messaging our Twitter handle and asked a couple questions. And I was like, oh yeah, we're made up of veterans from, different walks of life and stuff, like pre and post 9/11 veterans, stuff like that. And hopefully he's listening to the show because he said he would, because I kind of described the show as, oh, that's cool, I'll have to listen. I'm like, oh, that was a fucking weird, off the track. All right, cool. But, hey, I use this opportunity as that we've helped another veteran. He's a retired Navy chief, find the awesomeness that is WTF Nation Radio. But, dear God, don't call anyone a pheasant or they will lose their shit on social media. But it was, the whole thing was pretty funny until I had stopped, and then you had texted me going, okay, dude, you got to stop. I'm like, that was a long time ago. And it was great.
Jose
you that it was.
Jose sent me a PM and he said, who's on Twitter today? I'm like, Flash is usually on Twitter today. And he's like, well, don't you check Twitter? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I fucking go on Twitter just to observe stuff or if, when Flash is taking some time off, but I'm not on it religiously like you fuckers are. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like,
thank you, Cal. You're right. That guy was Templi.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, oh, let me log into to the radio Twitter and see what exactly Jose is talking about. And sure as shit, I see the exchange going back and forth. I'm like, oh my god, you guys, you fucking. You know what? You're right. People are getting so wrapped around sensitivity and stuff like that about what's going on, about anything that anybody says.
One person accused me that I've never hunted pheasant before, which was the weirdest. Like, I don't believe you've ever hunted a pheasant before. And I was like, I have, but well, if you did, you'd have a hunting dog. I was like,
oh my
I never
God.
said
See,
I had a hunting dog.
So the
but
guy,
my
so
friend
so
and I
then,
went
so you
so, like,
guys,
some people are just like losing their, like, trying to, aha, you never went hunting for pheasants. Like, aha, never said I did. I just called him a pheasant.
oh, so he
And
was.
then
They were
some
trying
people were posting some funny ass gifs, and one person pointed did a picture of a grouse, which is a different type of bird, and somebody wrote, "Dude, that's a picture of a grouse, not of a blank." So they pretty much were referring the person I had called a pheasant as the pheasant, but they called it by his name. I nearly shat every drink out at the same time. Like, it just, like, everything. Oh my God, I had alcohol through my nose, it burnt, but it was worth it. Just, it was the funniest shit, and everyone's just like, it takes I love Twitter because we're able to foster some great relationships through Twitter. We actually have a couple of great things that are happening very soon that I've told you about that you know.
Yeah.
But we won't say that we're very excited about. But it's been through Twitter, but it's also, I hate it because how easily just saying you laminate your DD214 pheasant, and like, people just lost their shit. Like, I literally called him the Antichrist or something, or I called him Hillary Clinton, or
What's
something. Like, just was the weirdest shit ever. Like, I still can't even get over how weird it got.
Hang on. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Yeah, hello.
Am I speaking with Pete?
No,
Hi,
you're.
my name is Lynette, and I'm with the.
Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Lynette again, and I'm calling with the Quality Assurance Department of the promotion that you registered for at the Mongolian Mall. And I'm calling on a recorded line, and I do want to apologize for my delay in reaching you. And I'm showing you had spoken with one of our representatives regarding your 2 virtually free vacations. And I wanted to touch base to see if our agent handled your call in a courteous and professional manner.
Very professional. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, so you did speak to the agent? Yes. And okay, so that's a good thing. That it went okay. And
It was great.
Your entry was selected for your vacation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Dude, stop it, man. She was like wondering what the hell's going on. I wanted to
I wonder what the hell's going on.
I was waiting for I was gonna get as soon as I was gonna go book out. Hello. Yes, I'd like to speak to somebody about some Mongolian vacation. Dude, man. That was awesome. Well, thank you so much for that prank call. I think we need to talk to the staff about using
what using the phone numbers for.
Yeah, what do you guys use?
A free vacation.
Exactly. WTF Nation.
Flash up for that.
Yeah, WTF Nation Radio staff, ensure that you make sure that the persons that you call to set up your reservations for vacations are not during showtime hours.
I'm sorry. I try to contain myself, and I was trying to find that I was ready for the next topic.
Dude, you could not see. That's what I'm saying. I was about ready to prank her back, and you were like laughing like Roscoe Pico train and shit. Cute. Don't play, get him, Flash, get him. I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
But it was just a funny, like, that was just the most random thing. Like, I thought somebody was actually calling in to either make Letterkenny references, which it's on Hulu. Highly suggest it. It's a Canadian comedy. It's kind of almost of a dry sense of humor, but it's fucking funny as hell. Or the individuals, the whole shindig, how it started. I thought somebody was going to call and be like, you know what? Fuck you, you fucking fat.
Hey, what's up, man? WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air.
How are you?
What's up, man? How are you?
Nothing much. Just relaxing, listening to the show.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you for listening to the show, man. So, are you a new listener? Turn down your radio or turn down your phone in the background.
I'm a veteran listener. I've been listening to you guys for a little bit. I'm former Army. You there?
Yes, we're listening, man. Go ahead, continue. Please tell us about yourself.
Oh no, me? I'm I don't know, man. I'm just kind of a fucked up individual, per se.
Okay. What does that mean? Talk to us, man.
No,
What's
I
up?
just nothing really. I mean, as long as I have my medical marijuana and my pills, I'm good to go. But
That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's what I'm
I've
talking
had many hospital stays, where they kept me against my will and whatnot. I like those.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, is it like a one of those things where you were kind of like in a place that you were kind of in and needed to get yourself out? Is that what it was?
Yeah. It's dark places. I try and not do that anymore. But.
No, I got you, man. So what do you do to keep yourself? Yeah, I hear you. What do you do to keep yourself busy?
I actually just got a service dog in training now, and she's in boot camp now.
Oh, that's good shit.
In New York, so she works at the Paws of War, which is a good organization.
Oh, I think we heard about them. Yeah, I think we did. Well, cool, man. Well, so you've been listening to us for a while. You enjoy the content and shit. You like what you hear? Do we make you?
Oh yeah, I love the content.
Oh, awesome.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, cool. Well, we just want to make sure you were giving us feedback right now. So
makes my day.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. Well, you make our day. You make our day when you support us, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem. It's just crazy. I just see all this fucking people getting like this Alexandria, Ocasio-Cortez, and I'm in New York. I don't know how these fucking people voted for this woman, and I'm just watching like all this shit that comes out of her mouth. This is fucking amazing. Like, oh my god, she's putting blonde jokes to shame.
I hear you, man.
Other than that, I've been doing all right.
Well, good shit, man. Well, thanks for giving us a buzz, man. We have other people calling in, so you hang in there, bro. And like I said, you can call us up anytime, all right?
No problem.
All right, brother.
All right, later, bro.
Have a good one.
So I'm being instructed through the chats that I should have made more Letterkenny jokes when I was going back and forth with all these people. Apparently, I've let people down. I am sorry for that.
I see. That's the thing. I didn't know.
Have you watched that show?
No, dude, I've not.
There are some there. If you don't like it by the first 2 episodes, then it's not for you. Because they're immediately just like my wife couldn't was walk in and see me watching it and me giggling like a schoolboy, and she would just be like, "Is it really that funny?" I'm like, "Yes, it is that funny." But there's a lot of things they say that's pretty like Templi and I wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud. And
yeah, so you were just basically busting out the new hotness and jokes, and nobody got it.
No one got it. That happens.
That was just I hear you. I hear you. It's like you're the first one that saw the movie The Terminator, but nobody knew what the hell you were talking about. Because that happened to me when I was a kid. I saw The Terminator. I'm like, you got to see this fucking movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger's killing people, and they're like, what are you talking about? The guy can't even speak English. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a badass movie. Nobody would believe me. Get out and fuck you, asshole. I was the king of Arnold impressions and shit, and everyone's like, what are you talking about, dude? You got to see this movie.
Pretty much. I figured not as they just dropped because I only had the first 2 seasons, which were pretty awesome, and then I had to wait 4 more months, and they finally put the other 6 seasons because it's originally on Crave TV. Which is kind of one of those smaller TV networks, but it's a digital TV network type of thing. It's pretty funny. All of them are all the folks are pretty hilarious, and it's funny. But yeah, I really did just bust out. I was I wasn't trying, because when I'm operate the Twitter WTF Nation Twitter handle, we do take we try to be as biased as possible, but we do poke fun.
You mean non-biased? You mean non-biased?
That's what I meant. Non-biased. We try to be very vanilla, neutral, middle of the road. We let the people that talk be the ones that actually have opinions, not the station itself. But we also like to poke fun.
Of course.
I thought I was just poking fun because I was just thinking of something. outrageous, like he stabs nuns, but like he laminates his DD-214 and called him a pheasant. I didn't expect the reaction we got. All I know is our Twitter numbers went up because everyone kept responding to us or retweeting, or it's just like, hey, thank you for the interaction, pheasants and damn shirt tuckers. I appreciate it.
Shirt tuckers. What the fuck? Okay, I gotta watch this show so I can get.
I gotta watch. Well,
you know,
we do have some good news today.
What's up?
Like some pretty ecstatic news. Moving into our news. So check this out. U.S. and Taliban have agreed in principle to peace framework, says an envoy for the United States, meaning that we actually could finally see an end to the war in Afghanistan. As my dad said, is there even still a war? It's more like we're just sitting there picking up casualties. Like it's not a war anymore. But according to Mujib Mashal from Kabul, American and Taliban officials have agreed in principle to the framework of a deal in which the insurgents, the Taliban, would guarantee Afghan territory is never used by terrorists, which could lead to a full pullout of American troops in return for largest concessions from the Taliban, the chief United States negotiator said Monday. So this just happened today. This is coming from the New York Times. But I've seen it in a whole bunch of outlets. New York Times, one of the first ones to throw it out there. The negotiator, Zama, said those concessions must include the Taliban's agreement to a ceasefire and to talk directly with the Afghan government, which the insurgents have persistently opposed in the past. Quote, we have a draft of a framework that has to be fleshed out before it becomes an agreement, he said in an interview with New York Times in Kabul. The Taliban has committed to our satisfaction to do what is necessary that would prevent Afghanistan from ever becoming a platform for international terrorist groups or individuals. As you remember, the USS Cole, the terrorists, Al-Qaeda coming out of Afghanistan, and then Al-Qaeda operating with the Taliban in Afghanistan. You had the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So Afghanistan has a post-Russia fucking everything up. Afghanistan has been the starting point for many terrorist attacks. This would be a huge deal because that's hopefully, if they everyone sticks to it, that's another story. But enough to agree to it. We felt quote, we felt enough confidence that we said we need to get this fleshed out and the details need to be worked out. Keeping Afghanistan from reverting to the terrorists having used by Al-Qaeda to plot September 11th attacks, the catalyst for a nearly 2-decade-old war. This war is older than many kids. This war is almost older than a lot of the kids that are just joining the military. It's almost as old as me, damn it. Has long been a primary demand by American officials. After 9 years of halting efforts to reach a peace deal with the Taliban, the draft framework, though preliminary, is the biggest tangible step forward, ending a war that has cost tens of thousands of lives and profoundly changed American foreign policy. Boom.
We're never leaving that place. No, the reason why is because here's the thing: we're gonna go back. I'm not saying that we go back on treaties and shit, but I'm just saying sometimes we go back on treaties. There's going to be an excuse. There's going to be someone that's going to do something, and the next thing you know, there will be an event where we have to go back over there. Probably more likely going to be there's going to be some terrorist activity. I know the counterterrorism fight belongs to U.S. SOCOM, so they're gonna go do their shit. They're gonna do their stuff. So in a way, we're not really. Somehow we're gonna get mired back in there.
Well, I mean, if you look back, I mean, the reason why the Soviet Union originally went there was it was another buffer country between the Iron Curtain and U.S. NATO forces. While we went in there and this is Flash's opinion, with the guys that were trying to get the terrorists that attacked and killed American people on American soil, it's also a strategic point in Asia. It really is, just like Kuwait is in the Middle East, and that because we're never leaving there. And just like Afghanistan is in Asia, while it is landlocked, it is a strategic country that can, doors open for Asia one way or the other. So I kind of agree with you. But from what I've been reading and from what I've seen from other tweets is that the Taliban wants a complete and full pullout of U.S. forces. Whether that's going to actually happen or not is another thing. A senior American official speaking on conditional anonymity to discuss ongoing negotiations said the Taliban delegation had asked for time to confer with their leadership about the American requirements for the insurgents' agreement to hold direct talks with the Afghan government in a ceasefire. The officials described those issues as interconnected as part of the package deal that linked to a Russia nesting doll. The officials' account was supported by details that have been leaked by some of the Taliban and Western officials in recent days. A senior Taliban official with direct knowledge of the talks on Monday confirmed the draft agreement on the issues of foreign troop withdrawal and the Taliban pledge that Afghan soil will not be used against others. He said working groups, quote unquote, would iron out the details on the timeline of the withdrawal.
Yeah, right.
I know. But inside of the conditions the Americans have demanded may be difficult to reach. The Taliban officials said they did not see the agreement as being dependent on a ceasefire or direct talks between the Taliban and Afghan government. The official declined to specify the Taliban's position on those details. They want us all gone. Whether that's going to happen.
Yeah, here's the thing. But here's what we think. We roll the fuck out, and while we're rolling out, it's going to be like fucking Vietnam and the helicopter on top of the embassy type shit, and people are going to be like running. As soon as word gets out that we're taking off, Afghans and everyone, all the media, everyone that says we needed to pull out of Afghanistan because our foreign policies suck, are going to be the same people that are going to get pissed off when we leave people behind. And I'm talking about the Afghan nationals that have been helping us along the way. Hey, after 18 years, maybe your policy didn't work, or maybe the policy didn't work. So I think it's time to go ahead and move out, draw fire, and then kill the bad guys as we go. Whack-a-mole type shit, and that's it. Because dude, if they still can't even have fucking Wi-Fi in Afghanistan, or they still can't have the amenities after almost 20 fucking years of what we've done in Afghanistan, nothing has been built up. But Iraq, as soon as we leave Iraq, now granted it was starting to go up before ISIS, and then we had to go in there and help them again. But they were on the. I guarantee Northern Iraq, it wasn't taking any shit from anybody. Kurdistan wasn't getting fucked with. So that whole thing, they were getting built up. They had people flying in. You fly into Erbil now, like commercial and shit. You can just go, if you got a passport, you can fly to Erbil from Stuttgart or from fucking Frankfurt, and there you are. Welcome to the other Iraq. It's really Iraq, and you're like, wow, this is fucking awesome. The Kurds have taken it to a whole new level. In Afghanistan, for some reason, I don't know what that. Either there's a fucking test fucking wavelength from the mountains hitting our fucking leaders to go to fuck things up. I've watched fucking movies of what we've done in Afghanistan, and I could totally see that there were areas that weren't fraught with any fucking drama, and then all of a sudden you have that new commander that wants to come in and win the war in Afghanistan in his rotation, and ends up being on a goddamn documentary called Restrepo. You know what I mean? That whole shit, you're fucking done. Once you're out of that fucking country, once you want our whole, again, what were the objectives for Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, straight up to begin with? Was to crush kill them Al-Qaedas, rat out the fucking Taliban support for Al-Qaeda, all their fucking Al-Qaeda leaders, and then kill Osama bin Laden. It was really fucking easy shit to do. And it was all been done.
Well, then we got into nation building.
And that's
where it went off to shit.
That's exactly that. It went off to shit. Then the next thing you know, we went into all these contract companies saying, no, you really need... It's almost, I don't want to say snake oil salesman, but it's almost like you really need to be in Afghanistan because there's terrorism there. It's almost like it's like they're putting it in people's paranoid minds. Terrorism's going to come back. You sure you want terrorism to come back on your watch? It would look pretty bad if you as an ambassador of this country will have some terrorism come back up after you said it was clear. This contract company, said contract company will let you know.
Said contract company.
Because all of them do it. All the fucking contract companies that are up there, the Intel and all this other stuff, they're the overhyped, over. Hey, really don't want to go there, man, because that's a bad area. And you got like fucking dudes that's been going back and forth there with no fucking issues. And you know what I mean? It just, to me, it became a private military contracting company fucking haven for new rifles and t-shirts and fucking, 511 pants.
Yeah. Well, although the Taliban has been distancing themselves from Al-Qaeda, they have never denounced the group. Taliban fighters still intermingle with international militants in parts of Afghanistan and maintain relationships of coexistence with some of them. To many analysts of the government, the Afghanistan conflict now, the details that have emerged so far in the discussions with the Taliban suggest an American desperation for a withdrawal from a war regarded as unwinnable rather than patience for a comprehensive peace deal that could ensure some of the most basic values the Americans have emphasized in their 18-year presence in the country. Diplomats in Kabul, aware of the way Mr. Khalilzad has characterized the progress of talks, also said the American envoy was candid in his caution that the condition of the United States had presented to the Taliban before a deal could be finalized might prove difficult to reach. They expressed that they were seeking ways, including assistance from regional countries, to convince the Taliban to meet the Afghan side and agree to a ceasefire. One of the diplomats said that there were suggestions of freezing the agreement on the two central issues and waiting for the Taliban to deliver on the conditions laid out to finalize it. But they also suggested he might test President Trump already waning patience in the Afghan conflict. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot more to the story. It just goes on that pretty much they're repeating that there's framework, there's steps being made, there's actual talk being happening in Qatar, the Qatar meetings. It revolves around Taliban and the Taliban Afghanistan government talking to each other and agreeing to a ceasefire, and partly the U.S. completely pulling out of Afghanistan. A lot of those things are tough hurdles. I mean, because the Taliban's been fighting this. Taliban's been fighting this for 18 years. So have we. No one wants to kind of give in.
But do you kind of think that in the diplomatic process we should just like step the fuck back and let the indigs handle it? You know what I mean? Let them handle it. Let them.
Well, see, we've tried. Like there was a story last year where the Afghan government was trying to meet with the Taliban, and the Taliban, agreed up until like 2 days before, and they went, "F you guys." So it's that, and America feels the American diplomats have said that there's no peace deal unless we're involved in it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Let them fucking let them flip flop wearing motherfuckers deal with themselves. Let them fucking do it. Oh, you guys want to? Al Qaeda's and Afghan Taliban's and Afghan government. Y'all want to do your own shit? Oh, deuces. See ya. Peace out. Hey, as a matter of fact, all those buildings that we built for you, you can have them. Keep them. Well, actually, matter of fact, we'll take all of our vehicles. We'll leave you the fucking buildings. Hope you guys know how to fix shitters and paid attention the whole fucking time we were there. And see ya. Bye.
You know what would probably get the Afghan government and Afghan forces, the ANA, ANP, to actually get this shit together? If we went, cool, in a year and a half, we are going to be gone. No more of anything. U.S. is out. Maybe not make it a worldwide thing, but be like, hey, look, year and a half, get your shit in order, because after this, you're dead. Like, go forth and conquer, or the Taliban's going to kick your ass. We're done here. Because, I had one buddy who deployed 4 times, twice to Iraq, twice to Afghanistan, because apparently the military hated him. And the one thing he's always said that I've kind of always remembered is he said, when I was in Iraq, the Iraqi people wanted to take over. They wanted to get their shit together, at least in his opinion. They wanted to get back to a way of life without the American forces, where they did not need assistance for anyone. This was their country. He said, Afghanistan, no one gives a shit. Everything is so, because of the, post-Soviet Union occupation of Afghanistan and Soviet Union getting their ass kicked out of Afghanistan, and then the Taliban moving in, they've become regionalized. It's no longer about the country, and it's about, the individual tribes and stuff like that. And no one gives a shit about anyone else in the country or about the country. They only care about the square footage of their territory, and the different provinces. You know, folks in Kabul could give a shit about the guys up in Gore province, and that's the problem. That's the difference between the two countries from what his point of view was. And then being in Afghanistan, I've seen that where the folks in Shindad could give a shit what happened in Bagram. As long as they weren't getting attacked, who cares?
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's
the problem with the country is no one cares unless it's happening to them.
Of course. Well, just think about it. That's how the state. That's how America is. I mean, do I care about what happens in Chicago? I think it's kind of fucked up. That Chicago is fucking. Oh, speaking of which, you guys hear about that fucking shooting that happened in Houston? Shit, I forgot to bring that up. 5 police officers serving a warrant were shot. Suspects have been killed. More to follow on that. Just hit me to fucking bring that up. They were serving a search warrant and they got shot. So more to follow on that. Hopefully we'll get some updates during the show. But like I'm saying, okay, that's a perfect example right there. Damn, that fucking sucks. Hope everything's okay is what I said about Houston. If I'm in Colorado, that's what I would say. Unless I'm in, like you said, unless it affected me in Houston. But I'm in Colorado, so Colorado doesn't really care. I mean, they do care, but they don't. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So that's the way Afghans, from what I'm gathering, see the same way. It doesn't happen in my fucking hood unless it's a foreigner. Obviously, it's a foreigner. Then of course, they see it more tribal as opposed to jihadist type stuff. If that makes any sense. You're attacking my people. You're attacking my tribes. Nowhere there was the Islam wasn't even thrown there. Just that wasn't even part of their lexicon before Al Qaeda showed up. You know what I mean? Once Al Qaeda showed up, then it became oh no, these are infidels. This and this. You know what I mean? Guys,
then it became all kind. It went from we're gonna be we're just gonna take care of our own to now it's become a whole different shindig. What doesn't help these diplomats is the president coming out not too long ago saying, we're pulling troops out of Syria, we're pulling troops out of Iraq, we're pulling troops out of Afghanistan. And and so then the Taliban knows, shit, we don't want to make a deal. We got to wait you fuckers out, which, hey, ain't going to be that much longer, apparently. And that's that goes back to my problem with this, our current administration is that we talk too much. we give, and the Obama administration did its fair share of that, in different ways, but it's, I feel that we do too much strategy through the news. Instead of just letting our people do their jobs, but it makes it harder for diplomats. But what it comes down to it is, eventually, in the next couple years, if not year, U.S. forces are no longer to be in Afghanistan. I know it's hard to. I know everyone's super doubtful about it or cynical about it, and it's rightly so. 18 fucking years. It can buy, right now this war can buy cigarettes and porn. Like, that's way too long for a conflict to be happening, that we keep sending people to go over there and come back missing legs and pieces or body bags. Yeah, and one of our listeners did say, yeah, we did drop a couple bombs on and killed like 70 Taliban forces in a bunker, but what happens is they keep sprouting up, and we can't get rid of them unless we annihilate the whole people, which we can't do. That's wrong.
But are they really Taliban, or are they just guys? At this point, after 20 years, almost 20 years, are they really Taliban? I mean, think about it. I get the beginning, what they were doing and stuff, and everyone was part of it. But after 20 years of rounding motherfuckers out, and now we have legitimized the Nazi. I mean the Taliban. Don't you think that it's kind of like, are they really Taliban when we say they're ISIS or say they're Al Qaeda or so? Because now you're just talking about if you're bringing to the table in diplomatic relations a government that you consider that's considered sovereign now. If you consider the Taliban sovereign, weren't we just trying to like wipe these fuckers out for shooting women in the head in goddamn soccer stadiums? And now all of a sudden, let's have some talks. You're right. We talk too much. I mean, personally, I think it's a crock. Are they Taliban? Is it that, PMC mentality or the overzealous general, the overzealous intel guy? Oh yeah, they're Taliban. Dude was like was just threatened by real Taliban to go do something. Otherwise, they were going to shoot his family. Yeah, he's Taliban. The dude was like a fucking, you know, he was like a dirt clod collector or some shit like that. Yeah, because I don't know what they do in Afghanistan. He was a poppy farmer. You got to see that.
Poppy farmer.
Yeah, you can see that movie War Machine with Brad Pitt. It's fucking hilarious, making fun of General.
Well, why can't they do wheat? Oh, because that would compete with American interest. So what do you want them to do? Poppy.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that, and that reminded me I think it was my second to last combat tour. We were doing a route clearance, and I was following these guys down in the Tarancal area. And I remember we stopped and we're sitting these. I'm like, oh, these are cool flowers. And I was like, yeah, these are poppy flowers. And he said, you know, and I was like, huh, like where they get poppies? He's like, yeah. And then the LT comes up and he sits down next to me, pulls one of the flowers. He goes, you see this black line, like this back, like it was like 3 centimeters wide or whatever, black. He said, that's where they get heroin from. I was like, what? I said, we just let it grow. Goes, yeah, we can't do anything about it. I said, because it's a plant, we can't do anything. It's after it's manufactured that people actually step in. I'm like, okay, and we let them? Oh yeah, because they can't grow anything else here. That made no sense to me. Like from the start, we fucked this country from getting any kind of, you know, progress, you know, before, you know, post our initial attack and post when we actually leave. And it's that kind of bullshit that we're just, you know, exactly. And that's the kind of bullshit that we're just like handicapped. So that's why we're stuck in Afghanistan, because the Afghan folks can't get ahead in life because we won't let them compete with our interests, which is BS, because any country should be allowed to do whatever they want. So then we pretty much go, hey, you have to grow this, but don't make drugs out of it and to make money, which is bullshit.
Why would you grow fucking poppy? Because you want to make heroin. No, know why? Is because Big Farm needs their fucking Oxycontin fucking money, or they need their fucking location. Where do you think all that shit's getting subsidized from? Big Farm is subsidizing Afghanistan. That has nothing to do with fucking freedom and you know, fighting for our Oxycontin. The opioid crisis. What do you think fucking poppy is? The opium poppy. It's an opiate. Where do you think they're getting the juice from? We have like a fucking poppy farm sitting out here in fucking Colorado, growing some with the weed and shit, or outside of fucking Belton or any of the fields in fucking Florida near Plant City. We got poppy fields out there? No, we're Big Farm's getting it from fucking Afghanistan. I'm going to talk about this. Well, you have freedom and fight against the enemies against the oppressing mob. Shut the fuck up. You're not doing that shit. The opioid crisis, what do you think? The opioid crisis wasn't a fucking issue until Afghanistan started. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. When we actually leave. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fucking, yeah. So every time I hear about that, let's do that. No, okay, great. Every time I hear about the opioid crisis or Big Farm, the people who make Oxycontin and all this other shit are talking about in negotiations and all this other stuff. You know, that's what makes me mad about this whole Congress bullshit. The whole Congress bullshit with what they do with Big Farm, and all of a sudden, everybody who hated fucking weed are now the biggest purveyors and pushers of it now. Medicinal marijuana buying $56 billion worth of fucking industry. You have guys that like John Boehner, who was the former Speaker of the House, who's getting involved in all this fucking bullshit. And this ain't a fucking tinfoil. This is fact. Now all of a sudden, all these Congress people that are getting out are getting into the weed business. You know, the same conservatives that said smoking weed is bad and reefer madness and all sorts of shit are now probably in fucking cahoots with the fucking Big Farm to move some way in there. So that way same...
Just announced today, 2 Democrat senators from Michigan, or state senators in Michigan, have introduced a bill to legalize recreational marijuana. Like, everyone's jumping on it because now that they're out of the game.
That's like fucking whatever. I hate it when people are like that. Yeah. Well, you know, you shouldn't be talking like you're being disrespectful for the nation's objectives, and you're undermining this shit. Oh, yeah. Undermining it. Yeah. Big Farm wasn't a fucking big deal. Come on, man. That fucking poppy farmer in Afghanistan didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was just getting some extra cash from some white dude in a fucking suitcase going, here you go, sir. Blah, blah, blah.
So apparently Stefan thinks we're dumb. Oh, look at the pretty flowers. You know, no, when they're, if you, I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but when they're actually bulbs, not the actual flower itself, when the poppy plant is actually a bulb, there will be a black, like, couple centimeters, maybe half an inch or something, to half an inch, line that goes from the top of the bulb all the way to the bottom of the bulb is where they get that black tar heroin from, not from the plant after it's bloomed. It's when it's still the bulb. Maybe deploy. That might help. But what matters is we've hamstrung this country.
Poppy. That's the wrong poppies, dude.
I know.
I'm talking about those poppies.
Because Stephen's just being a pheasant.
Oh, did you stop being
Stop being a fucking pheasant.
We're not talking about botany, Steven. We're not talking about that shit. Those kind of poppies. Oh, man, Airborne. We weren't talking about those kind of poppies.
This country, and we're gonna have to leave. And I think this president wants us to leave, and eventually we're gonna have to go. Hey, guess what, Afghanistan? Time, you see that clock? You see how it's counting down? We will be leaving at that point. We need to do that. There's going to be no right way for this to happen. It's not going to end well. There's no big parade when we leave. When we leave, and it's just going to suck no matter how it happens.
Yeah, whatever. Well, we're gonna take a break right quick. It's already 10 minutes prior anyway. So, I'm like 12 5 times, dude. Thanks. You're like 12. So, shots, and we'll be right back.
Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue. what it is to see when you look at me deep into the photography. I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? Will I make it home alive? Should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I'm breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Part 2 of the Monday edition with Ice and Flash, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence this 28 January 2019. Damn, dude, it is almost the end. God, dude, this whole fucking month has been crazy. Okay, I guess there's more of updates. Still no word yet on what happened with the I guess they were serving a search warrant, and these are the police officers. I guess there was also some police officers shot in Colorado too. Fuck, dude. Pretty fucking crazy going on with that shit. So more to follow on that. In other news, Venezuela, we have now placed sanctions on the state-run oil company, which if you have ever purchased gas from a Citgo, you supported Venezuela. Believe it or not. I was like, people are like, I didn't support Venezuela. Yeah, you did. Venezuela. Right next to Colombia. There's been a lot of activity going on. News reports have indicated that Russian private military contractors, like the same ones that we fucked up in Syria, they try to attack our Marines and we fucked them up bad. Those guys, their version of Blackwater is headed to Caracas to secure Maduro, because right now, currently through the elections process, the United Nations has given Maduro a specific amount of time that if he does not comply with they will consider him they will consider him an illegitimate leader. Right now, the world is pushing more to Guaido being the legitimate leader of Venezuela, and there is already hashtags and resistance movements and all that from the opposition. Everyone's saying these guys are like rebels and stuff, and really it's not it. These are the individuals that voted. These are the people that voted in. Several million individuals on 23 January congregated in downtown Caracas. I just like saying that. Caracas. To protest the results. The bastion of socialism that everyone likes to exalt. Like that guy said about AOC talking about how Venezuela is and it should be this and it should be that. How the jewel of South America has turned into a giant shithole. That's what happens when you have socialism involved and totalitarianism and all that. Cuba, there's a heavy...
It's a war zone out there.
Yeah. Cuba is now getting involved, and straight up, it is a... it was one of those things where they're getting involved. Everyone's putting their dick beaters in fucking Venezuela right now and trying to push a power play due to the fact that Venezuela doesn't have a large set of resources. So guess what? Guess what one of the resources is? And everyone's going to guess right now. Oil. We're going over there to get that. Securing the people. Earl. We're going to get that Earl. Updates. None of the officers are fatal. There were 2 in surgery and 2 suspects were killed. That's what we got so far. So that's the status of the Leos right now in Houston.
Well, they had a CNN reporter who had infiltrated Venezuela, and people are saying like people are killing each other over like a pound of rice. It's desperate times down there. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we had a whole like Panama thing going on and like having sent U.S. forces to Venezuela or something. But it's, we want the new guy to come in. The Soviets and Iran want the other guy.
The Russians. You forgot. They're called. They don't call. What are you, freeze dried or doing hard time? Are you hanging out with Cold War vets or some shit? You've been hanging around with that Cold War vet that you're using his lexicon. The Soviets. The Soviets.
They're proven otherwise.
Damn Ivans.
But like everyone's now picking sides, and this is how that Cold War shit starts.
Oh yeah. Think about it too. You got to remember, Cuba had the Cuban Missile Crisis going on there with a bunch of nuclear missiles parked there. I'm curious to see what Russia's going to do. Right now. Currently, after the sanctions were announced, all oil sold from Venezuela that have gone into accounts those accounts have now been frozen, and the National Security Advisor John Bolton is already been caught with his notes having approximately 5,000 troops to Colombia, neighboring city. There's been some reports of vehicle movements all around the border of Colombia and Venezuela. So this is all like breaking shit like happening now.
Get in, fucker. We're going to Venezuela.
Yeah, as a load up. Everybody load the fuck up. Caracas. This is like a pretty lovely city. I wonder. Caracas. But anyway, so that's the news on Venezuela. Of course, WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments. We posting everything like that. If you're down in Caracas or you are near Colombia or are involved in that, give us a call, shoot the shit, talk about what's going on. Of course, nothing classified, and anyways, it doesn't matter because none of the sources are ever real, but it would be pretty interesting to see what the dealio is going down on that. So yeah, anybody else? Anything else we got? Anybody else want an update on that? That was the update on Caracas, on Venezuela.
Well, we have some cool veteran news.
Oh, send it.
So our friends over at Iraq and Afghanistan, Veterans of America, are having a changing of the guard. Former guest Paul Rickoff is stepping down and passing the torch to Jeremy Butler. He's the COO for IAVA and a CrossFitter apparently, and he's going to be stepping up to take control of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. So they're currently about to release their 2019 priorities and some other stuff in DC. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay long enough in DC to witness it firsthand. But we're working with it. I'm actually in talks with their press person, because apparently that's changed, to get them to come on the show again. So yeah, so changing of the guards over that organization they've been pretty instrumental pushing for veterans to get the recognition and the support that many of us deserve when it comes to either mental health or just the basic rights. The biggest fight has been burn pits, which currently was shot down by the Supreme Court, but they're still pushing that to get that recognized the same way Agent Orange was. I mean, how many other people are fucked up from having to breathe in that stuff?
Caracas. Oh my God. Whoa. Appears that oh, Bailey, how you doing? Oh shit. Well, hope your surgery was okay. Hope you didn't have anything. Oh, everything was okay. I hope everything's good. Damn, saw that popped up in their chats. Caracas. Hope the Caracas. I hope they got all the Caracas out of your whatever they took out of today for your surgery, or whatever they fixed, or whatever they need to repair, or whatever what it was. I hope you heal up. Damn, I saw that right there. Bam, surgery. Yeah, shit. So, yeah, you guys. I really don't. Here's the thing. I really don't think that a lot of the guys that were involved in that group. I didn't think he expected it to get so big. You know what I mean? I think what had happened was that he got into it, and I think didn't he say he's gonna do some other shit? He was gonna do something else or get involved with something. You were telling me a little bit about it. He was gonna carry on to something bigger and better. He's gonna make an announcement about something else. Is that true?
I'm not sure anymore. I mean, the whole stepping down was like, I don't think that was the only announcement, but we're still waiting I'm gonna talk more and we're gonna figure out what exactly is going on. But it's kind of crazy, actually. I mean, this is a organization that he started, and now he's handing it off. But he's been more on CNN. You've seen him a lot more on CNN. So we wish Paul the best, and we're. Hopefully we can get Mr. Butler to come on the show. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we get him. Maybe we can get a hold of Paul again and say, "Hey, dude, come back on." Get him to come back on and see what's going on. Tell him he can't just like skate out on like that. I mean, come on. You know what's going on. We got that. That's interesting. That is real interesting. Yeah, and get the guy who stepped up to take the spot. See where he's going. I'm curious to see what Paul's going to do though. I'm not saying that IEVA's, I'm not interested in whatever, but I'm just saying that if he's making an announcement that he has something going on, or he's got something in it. Whoa, damn, Bailey, they took a boob? Oh, okay. Holy shit. Fuck. I'm about to say, damn. All right. Oh, okay, you were just kidding. Got it. Shit. Damn. fuck? And she's like all nonchalant. They just took a boob. I don't give a fuck. They took a boob. Caracas. Yeah.
Save the Tatas, man.
Yeah, save the Tata. Exactly, man. Anytime any work around there, man, it gets hype. Any of our fans and family, WTF Nation Radio, Summer, WTF Moments. Anytime those areas get touched, yeah, that's for medical and surgical purposes. It's kind of like, ooh, yeah. Well, wish you the best. Hope you heal. Get better, heal up. No, anyways. So I'm kind of curious to see what Paul's going to go into. What is he doing? I mean, did he say where he was going to go? Oh, I mean, just like said he's stepping off or what? What else? Would he give a hint?
No, I haven't seen anything. I've been following, before the announcement and then post announcement. We follow Paul on Twitter, and he's a friend of the show, and and loves to retweet some of our stuff, and we appreciate it. But no, actually, whatever's next is being kept close hold. He may just be taking time away from the whole DC life. I mean, we tend to forget what organizations like the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, the IAVA, and other ones that are in DC that are constantly knocking on doors and talking to congressmen and representatives to make sure that veterans are not forgotten. We had the American Legion on, and they said, our guest said something similar, where it's just, they're constantly doing that, and it is a full-time job, and especially now that we have the new 116th Congress, and there's a lot of changeover with House of Representatives, a couple of changeovers in the Senate, but they constantly have to keep on these people because, unfortunately, guys, since maybe at the very beginning of Afghanistan and Iraq, we were the center of attention, but now it's like, people, and this is Flash's opinion, people only care about veterans when it's good for whatever. People are kneeling, well, what about the veterans? Or
it's about the vets.
It's about the vets. We need to build a wall. What about the veterans? That money should go to them.
It's all about the veterans.
They only care about us when they need it to detract from something that somebody wants.
It's about the veterans.
Or says so. But
it's about the veterans. It's all about the veterans. Everything. You're right. It almost goes on to, it's for the children. And now it's like, it's for the veterans. Okay, cool. Then you're going to go ahead and pass this fucking burn pit legislation? Get the fuck out of here with your fucking veteran PTSD ass. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they fucking do. Fuck them all. Fuck Congress, man. Oh, did you get me all riled up on that shit?
You're very right, though. I mean, we're great. Like, everyone was getting mad about the kneeling. We've had our, conversations about that. But then the same folks that were like, well, this disrespects veterans are the same ones that don't vote for, that don't try to pass legislation to help veterans, that don't try to pass, to get, to fix the VA or get the VA to stop pushing opioids, and instead of trying different methods or at least getting the VA to do actual research on medical marijuana. The same congressmen that tout, oh, well, don't forget about the veterans on both sides of the aisle. Not picking on one individually, they both do it. It doesn't matter. When they start talking about building the wall, they said we could use that money to help veterans instead, or veteran homelessness.
And it's funny because when they did that, when they said that, and they're like, okay, well, let's move that money to the veterans. The Congress fucking denied it.
No, they always block it or something because we're only good when it comes to touting their support for the veterans, but they actually don't. A lot of these folks don't have the record. Like there's very few, and the Congress, the representatives that usually have the best record for veterans are the ones you don't see on TV all the time. There's like in Virginia, they have a representative for I think one of the district named Rob Whitman. He's done a lot for the veterans, especially in the Chesapeake area when it comes to the Navy bringing in to actually build ships to actually help businesses and stuff like that. Like he's done and there's certain other things that he's either tried to legislate, because I've been looking up different people, and then there's another one in like Oklahoma that's been trying to push veteran legislation, but since they're not the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the McConnells, the Cruzes, or the or every other person that wants to be a mouthpiece on TV, they don't get recognized, and so they don't, no one hears them go, well, what about the veterans? And they're the only ones actually trying to do stuff, but they get drowned out by everyone else using us, like Pelosi. Well, veterans, this protects the veterans, and then totally goes, fuck those guys when it comes time to actually do anything for us, which is one reason why we need organizations like the IAVA, American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, is they actually, I know a lot of people, especially in the post 9/11 era, there's not a lot of people that are going and joining these organizations, but I should knock on American Legion's door and see if they want to come back on. But that's one thing, I'm part of American Legion. I'm part of IAVA because we need strength in numbers, because no one's going to care about us unless it's us bitching enough where people, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, unfortunately, fucking DC's so damn greasy that we need to be even greasier to get actually shit done for us.
But it's about the veterans, Flash.
But it's about the veterans.
It's about the veterans. You
take care of the veterans. Can't kneel. Don't kneel. Don't kneel to protest whatever because you're disrespecting veterans. Don't build the wall because that money could go to veterans. Hey, does it actually do anything? No. Are you actually going to take that money for veterans? No. Well, fuck you both.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that, hey, where's all that burn pit legislation shit going? That you keep talking about burn pits and veterans post 9/11. This is our Agent Orange and all this other shit. There's a national. You know what? It's really fucked up. There is a national burn pit registry that it's up right now, and the VA is tracking this national burn pit registry, but they won't give you any claims to it if you register for it. They'll just say because Congress won't. I don't get it. The biggest fucking thing that our Congress does not give a fuck. I'm gonna go back on my mantra: veterans before refugees. Sorry, that's just what it is. That's just the way it is. Tough shit. There's a couple of things that pissed me off on a Monday that I overheard the weekend, and it really got my ass. It was really one of those things that, I'm really getting tired of the fucking pandering towards veterans and not see the organization that does, like you said, Flash, that does the pandering to veterans and then not do a damn thing other than use veterans for fucking poster boys and poster gals for their own fucking political views. One of the stories that came out today, there was a veteran that was gonna be buried alone in Killeen. WTF Nation sent a message out, of course, on the main page, and of course, all of us that follow U.S. Army WTF Moments shared it and all that. That veteran did not die and did not get buried alone. That individual was met with about 5,000. What was the count? They could only count that much because there was 5,000 individuals that showed up to this veteran's funeral, who was going to be buried alone. You best believe WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army, WTF Moments, as soon as they get an inkling or a hint of something that happening to that, no one should be buried alone, ever. No one should ever be forgotten. And so,
on that, if you read the CNN article, you know who's getting all the prompts for getting all those people out there? Celebrities and politicians. On the CNN article, I was looking because I'm like, I know U.S. Army WTF Moments, our main page
posted it first. And
I know, I look because I always like to look at their numbers, what I can see, and they got a ton of reach, they got a ton of engagement. It was massive. But who gets is because the politician who found out the day before, Ted Cruz was like, way to go, Texans. It's like, Ted Cruz, you just found out about it. Fuck yourself.
You
and your little baby beard.
Oh my! Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. It's like if Wolverine had a out of shape older brother, it'd be Ted Cruz with that beard that he's rocking right now. But there was
Stefan said something actually smart. He says that no one's going to take care of us, not in a million years. We have to take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes. And I have nothing against the VFW. I picked American Legion over VFW because my dad is part of American Legion. But the VFW does also a lot of amazing things. All these service organizations, I highly suggest, especially if you're pre or post 9/11 person, you need. You honestly, they need the numbers because we need numbers to back us getting taken care of. But yeah, Ted Cruz, his little baby beard, like, oh, great job, Texans. Is like, bitch, you didn't do shit. It was not you. It was other other veteran organizations and U.S. Army WTF Moments, which eventually we're going to be actually considered a veteran organization. But it's celebrities and politicians that really got it going. Fuck yourselves, fucking CNN. Don't give credit for nothing. And damn right, Jake, Ice and I are celebrities.
Far from
Fuck
that.
yeah, we are. You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Jake. Well, there was another story that here's the thing, okay? That got me the ass, okay? So along with that same story, there was a we had that story. We had a veteran that's been a call for attendance, which is awesome, which is really great. We really appreciate everyone coming out. But before that, there was another call for attendance for a veteran. And this veteran was on the patio of a hotel outside. And he froze to death. So when and you're right, Flash, when I hear this fucking pandering about it's for the vets. It's for the veterans and all this other shit. Anytime somebody says they're going to do something for a fucking veteran, I don't want to hear it. I do not.
I mean, we got people that go into the VA and in order to protest the VA, they kill themselves because they feel like they have no other option. You're right. Everyone so cares about the vets, yet we let people like that happen all the time. We won't push any other treatment because opioids is cheaper and easier to shovel down the veteran's throat, even though that's not what they need. It's every time I hear a politician do that, I immediately just side eye. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you immediately have lost, I don't want to hear it. Regardless, you're the president or a first-term representative. Ocasio, like, was it AOO from New York? She mentioned the veterans, AOC, and she mentioned the veterans one time. It took everything I had not to, like, I was trying to switch over to my own Twitter handle so I could go, shut the fuck up. But I'm just like, really? Like, everyone, like, ooh, we care about the veterans, yet we don't care about the veterans. And it pisses me off. Like, I think WTF Nation Radio, we just needed like orchestrate our own march in DC and just like fuck off Congress.
Ooh.
Like that would be the whole slogan, everything. Just something simple. Like we're not really protesting anything but Congress, just to tell them to fuck off. Stop using us as props.
Veterans are not props. Hashtag the WTF March or some shit like that.
Yeah, veterans are not props.
We're not
It
props.
pisses me off when every time you get some kind of fucking commercial or something where they're trying to do veterans or stuff like that, or this, that, and the other. It's just,
I'm not worried.
Makes me want to punch a baby seal in the face.
Yeah,
I
dude,
swear.
exactly. So that was the thing that pissed me off. On one extent, you had everybody that was joining in on the fun. Everyone's like, oh, for the veterans. Oh, we want to have for the veterans. And everyone needs to go ahead and attend this for the veterans, and we love vets, and blah, 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 blah. What was that love when that dude on the patio was frozen in a hotel and he froze to death on the hotel. Froze to death. There was a short notice funeral that we had. And it was for Zachy Holder. He froze to death on a downtown hotel patio over the weekend.
I mean, we're the congressmen and representatives there. They're arguing in Congress about the not declining of suicide numbers by veterans. Hey, if anything, our numbers have stayed stable, so at least they have that going for them. But the fact that those numbers have not gone down, and no one seems to think that's a bad thing, that veterans are, hey, at least veterans are staying consistently killing themselves. That's fucking spectacular. Good job, House of Representatives, and good job, Senate. Fucking pheasants.
One of the comments was just true. What kind of country do we live in where we let veterans freeze on patios but give illegals food and shelter? you
Can of worms.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you really want us to get into the debate. We should have some immigration reform people coming on, because I'm all about it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. The whole country.
Jake says instead of yellow vests, we can wear PT belts.
No, please, no. We just got
that four.
We just got a bunch of exactly the PT belt march. Okay, I can kind of see for protests. Yeah, I can see that. But my biggest thing is that post. Yeah, that's a good comment. What kind of country do you live in where a fucking veteran freezes to death on a fucking patio of a hotel? on the patio of a hotel. Nobody outside, nobody from the patio did a guard check to say, hey, look, there's a dude sleeping on the patio. Let's go see if he's okay. Peoria, Illinois, where was that?
William, if we have these politicians that they can say, oh, we can find money for, we can do the Ocasio way and say, oh, we've never cared about paying for this stuff before. Why should we care about paying for it now? Yet now I have to show them exactly where the money. I don't have to show them shit. Their job is to figure out where the money comes. Their job is to go, we actually care about veterans, nut up, and go, cool. You know what we can do? Instead of doing this whole process that doesn't work, or instead of making sure we give out clean needles in San Francisco to the folks that are, slowly killing themselves with illegal drugs, maybe take that money and actually invest it into the homeless veteran community that is in San Francisco instead, that probably are using that heroin and stuff like that. So instead of getting them off heroin and getting them off the streets, we'll provide clean needles. There's money they can provide. If I have to do that for every fucking area, then you know what? The WTF Nation Radio will do that. But I shouldn't have to. If they cared enough about us, they would find money. There's enough bullshit. There's enough bullshit programs. There's enough bullshit organizations. There's enough propped up fucking people that are in jobs just because they're politically appointed. That we don't need this person here. We don't need a special assistant to the commissioner. We can move all that money and put it toward veteran stuff. And a lot of the stuff isn't we need money for veterans. It's we need policies for veterans. We need recognize burn pits or killing people, or hey, recognize that I'm sorry, is research into medical marijuana so expensive? I'm pretty sure we can go to Colorado. We can at least buy up all we need for $100,000, call it a day, and have all the weed we're going to need for at least a week with these veterans. I guarantee if you stop pushing out opioids, you're going to save a ton more money giving people medical marijuana, or at least doing the research, because it'll save you in the long run. And you save fucking lives. But let me worry about the money to save fucking lives. We don't need to do that for veterans. Hey, keep killing yourselves as long as you're staying stable. At least the number, you can see, hey, at least the numbers didn't go up. Yeah, there's a win for Congress. Bullshit. The VA's fucking broken, but how much money is it going to take to fix that? Oh, wait. It takes someone just breaking their system and go, let's redo this one. Let's get all these people that take forever to clear out these what do you call it, when people put in their claims and stuff like that. Oh, you know what? How do we get money to make it so I don't have to wait 6 months to be seen? Hell, signing up for any kind of mental health thing, there's a 3-month waiting period. I'm hopefully in 3 months don't kill myself before I get to see a doctor, because the online person or the person on the phone only has 2 minutes to spare. You're right. You know what? I don't, and when I'm not trying to be on you. I understand what you're saying. You're kind of right. You can't just say, hey, we have a problem. It's always better to come in with, because that's what they kind of teach in some of these NCO academies, is at least some of the structures I've had, is, hey, here's the problem. Here is my proposed solution. That usually works better than just bitching. And I tell my wife all the time, don't just give me a problem. Give me a problem and what you think we should do, and then and then we'll work together. I got you. But worrying about simple things that are policy driven that really don't cost money is just a matter of, we need the policy to protect veterans, to keep veterans from thinking there's no way out other than a bullet, or however they can. Or, hey, how much money is it to not let veterans freeze to death on the road? Somebody do that data. Let me know how. The one thing I hated about being in Fort Hood was my sister lived in Austin, and every time I would go to see her, because she didn't live near University of Texas, or where all the bars and the guys with the trendy beards and shit like that, and the fucking tight ass jeans and shit like that are. But the outside, the regular part of Austin, and how many homeless veterans that are there. And one of them I saw, and I talked to one guy who is a Iraq vet, but he's been homeless. He's got mental problems, but the VA wouldn't see him. and he's been living on the streets for like 4 years, that actually made me tear up to the point my wife had to drive because I could not handle all this horribleness that we treat our veterans. But hey, you know what? We're going to make sure those veterans are out front and center for the Super Bowl, holding that American flag. Go veterans. Outside of that, we could give a shit. Hell, the Army has to pay to be a part of these NFL things. It's like the Army's way of like, hey, please don't forget us. You know, I know we're not doing the fancy thing, you know, kicking ass in the war, but you know, please don't forget it. The fact that we have to pay to be a part of this bullshit. How much shit? It was a couple $1 million last year, but as the bullshit. But wait, fuck it. No, don't spend money on the wall. That could go to veterans. Or hey, don't kneel. That disrespects the veterans. Yet no one gives a shit about the veterans. So you're very right, William. We as a veteran community, as I slowly start to inch my way off the soapbox, we as the veteran community need to speak up. If you don't join an organization, that's fine. It is not hard at all to get who your House representative person is for your district, your congressman, or write the damn president. I don't care. But honestly, if you're and I will at least say that I practice what I've preached, because I've written my congressmen, both of them suck ass, but I have also written my House representative and my delegate for the state of Virginia for my particular area. I have written, and actually I'm working on a meeting with my House of Representatives now the shutdown's over to talk about some of these veteran issues, because it's an important thing and we can no longer just sit back and bitch about it. William is right. We do need to call those people. And I encourage all you on Mixer, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and here on Facebook. If you're listening on a TuneIn app or on the website, or if you're listening on our iTunes podcast after the fact, doesn't matter. You need to actually step up. It's very easy to write, call, or even head down to DC. I'll even have a beer with you and go see those people and tell them how pissed off we are that they can keep touting us, but they don't actually do anything for us. The smallest victories that we finally got a more than we usually do raise should not be the big accomplishment for veterans in 2018. That's some bullshit. 2019 is about to be the same thing. Oh, they're going to have a 2.7% increase. Cool. We're still miles behind the everyone else, but hey, don't worry about that. For fuck's sake.
Well, that's what gives me the ass too. Is that what seems to be going on? No one. Hey, Coasties, I'm glad you got paid. They were about ready to hit the Coasties. This government shutdown almost got retirees, almost got Coasties retirees as well. So if you want to sit there in the banner of taking care of the veteran cause, and you're right, we don't do enough, dude. It does break my heart when I see a homeless vet, and I know for a fact, like, there are some individuals that I have known, 10, 15 years ago that I've seen them around, and I go back to near the installation where I was stationed with that, and the ETS out of there, because they hit some hard times. I see them homeless out there, and you're right, dude. It tears me the fuck up that this is what we have. This every single fucking time. If you're gonna tout some shit, that's why I'm glad we have these like IVA, VFW, American Legion. That's why I'm telling you, man. That dude that called up, fucking hey, dude, I don't give a shit. I'll stop the fucking show to talk to somebody if they need to shoot the shit. That's what it's all about. But what makes me mad is that I don't see. Every time I'll be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about the politics of some type of Medicare bullshit and all this other stuff. If you're trying to make a comparison to the VA system to Medicare, then maybe you should be paying into Medicare. I mean, maybe you should be paying into the VA health system. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it's doing all right. From what I'm hearing from everybody else, it's getting better. It's improving. As far as the claims and all that sort of stuff is a different story. It's a little bit of a lag, but holy shit, we have individuals that will sit there and like you said, will wallow in this stuff, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just fucking. Lately, I've been seeing like exactly that in the comments in the fucking chat. Hey, term limits, man. You ain't doing shit. You should be like pushing some shit. It's like you join in. It's the up and out system in the Army. How that's ready to go away. We'll talk about that in Sergeant's time. But if you are in Congress and you've been elected and you said you were going to do this and your campaign promises was that, you should have at least done or started 2 of your campaign promises. 2. If you've done those 2, then you can compete for a 3rd term after you've done 2. You know what I mean? Because some of that stuff's going to take a little minute to go back and forth. John McCain. Everyone's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be stepping on a man's grave." John McCain was the biggest anti-lobbyist. Did you know that the American Legion and the VFW and all those other guys, they're lobbyists? You know that, right? So that right there caused a chasm to decrease the amount of lobbying by organizations. So now it wasn't just political parties. It was just people. It was just a haterade thrown on somebody because if you wanted somebody to be in office and you wanted to support them and you have resources and assets and you weren't with old money and you had a method to support a candidate, he took that out. He legislated that whole campaign financing, lobbying shit was all wrapped into one for that crap right there. Do you know who it cut the fucking knees from? The VA, the IAVA, the VFW, AUSA, the NCOA. Well, AUSA is more like a fucking trade show now. But all those lobbying groups, it's hard for them to have anybody to get it. I'll be honest with you. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're an independent, if you're the fucking CEO, if you're the CEO of Starbucks and you're coming in saying I'm coming in as a fucking independent, as a centrist independent, I want to see what you got to say. If you want to come in and help us, oh shit, son. Let's talk. Come on. Matter of fact, what's that dude's name from fucking Starbucks? You want to come on the show, Starbucks? Come on. CEO of Starbucks. You can come on the show. We'll have you on. We will give you a fucking platform as a centrist independent. We like centrist independents. There were fucking questions we're going to ask about is veteran stuff. What are you going to do about what are you going to do to curb veteran suicide? What are you going to do for programs dealing with medicinal marijuana? What are you going to do with the amount of cost and cost of living allowance for veterans who have this? Why is it that if it is the veteran that has an issue that is going through like a divorce or something like that, and why is his money being taken when it wasn't his spouse was the one that served? So then why is there a different amount of money for a veteran who has? There should not be a difference. This is not the military. I got a lot of questions for somebody who says they want to do something for veterans. Why does it take so long for a claim to be done when now the systems are merging between the VA and the DOD? Why is that? Why is it now all of a sudden it's taking too long to do that? Plenty. Centrist fucking independent. Bring your Starbucks ass on here and give me a fucking latte and we'll fucking talk about it. Patriotism is better than no. Fuck that. I don't want fake patriotism. I want it straight up. You could love America, but want to fix it. Everyone here, and that's the thing. I'm glad. Stephen, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm totally glad you mentioned that. That's a good point. Patriotism is no longer called patriotism anymore. What are people calling it now? They're calling it what? Populism and nationalism and all this bullshit. Whatever happened to the term patriotism? Love America. 100%. 100% before anybody else. Oh, look at those 4 people dying on all that. Damn, look at those homeless vets. If I walk through the streets of where I'm at in any large city or any rural area, and I see a veteran that's suffering, that's homeless and is having problems, and he's got his family's in a fucking shelter, and I hear anybody telling me about a fucking refugee, I don't care. What have you done for that veteran?
All that matters is they can use it as a detraction from the other party's initiative or what they want to do. That's it. That's all that matters. And we need to come. I mean, we know this, and a lot of us are like, oh, they care about it. They don't. It's the problem is they don't care, and we keep hoping that congressmen and representatives will do the right thing. The president will do the right thing. The president loves to talk about us only when it's convenient. But, it's the kind of bullshit that we just need. We need to step up, and we need these organizations to help. We need these organizations to help us lobby for our rights, so then we're not left behind, because we are left behind.
We are definitely. Yeah, you're Jake. Yep. I'm glad you brought it up with the MedBoard stuff, because we're going to have the Surgeon General. We're trying to get her on there. The calendar for her has been full. I mean, she is a Surgeon General. She is a 3-star, so you kind of like 3 stars kind of hard to get a lockdown on a schedule. So yes, you're right. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the IDES process, the MedBoard system, with the SG, and when she comes on and to shoot the shit with us, it'll be awesome. It'll be a good show. We just like, again, we're you're right. That's part of the big stuff that's happening in 2019. That system is pretty streamlined. However, we want somebody to digest it, and also it's getting veterans who weren't under those types of systems, getting into a system so that way that way they can be helped. More to follow on that. But it's I'm telling you, I get frustrated as fuck when I see somebody talking about, oh, we're gonna do a foreign aid package. What about the veterans? We're gonna do this weapon sale to Turkey. What about the veterans? You just sat there and screamed at a bunch of fucking NFL players for kneeling because you were talking about veterans and stuff. You got me pissed off about the NFL. So now that you pissed me off about the NFL, what are you going to do about it? Are you really going to do all this stuff, or are you just talking out your ass? What's up, Weston? How you doing? Welcome to WTF Nation Radio. What you doing? Where are you coming from? Yeah, I see you, man. What's up? What you doing? But I'm getting tired of it. Getting tired of it.
That's the way we need to be. We need to be pissed off.
Yeah, no, that's the whole fucking thing that gets everybody fucking pissed off about us anyways, because we're like, oh yeah, well you sold us a bag of goods. Stop talking about fucking pinks and greens and our new PT test when, we got veterans that are fucking having an issue, because there's always the post stuff. The Army should be looking at if the Army wants to do that, we're soldier for life stuff, then you better be committed to that.
Because our country's not. And I hate to be that way. I was raised to believe the best of our country. We have people that are going to care about us no matter what. Not just the convenient. Somebody wants to. I'm walking through and somebody thinks I'm a vet, so they're going to thank me for my service. It just to in front of a bunch of people, but actions speak louder. But our country is that fake patriotism, and our representatives are exactly they mirror that. Can't blame them because no one else cares. Why should they? They only care when it becomes political for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna fucking at all. That's the first thing I'm gonna look at when a candidate talks, because right now nobody's talked about this stuff. You notice it's kind of like dwindled down now. It's all fake outrage and stuff like that. Excuse the fucking ass. Williams says that we need to get one of them military officers working in Congress to lobby for us after they retire. No, they're actually doing it right now. They're actually doing it right now. What's that guy with the eye patch? What was his name?
Crenshaw.
Yeah, Crenshaw. That dude's been a big advocate. Man, we should get him on here too. Talking about Crenshaw.
Working on that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
A lot of these folks, the hard part is just getting in the door. But we are working because the Democratic Party does have two folks that are military vets. So we are trying to give them a platform to speak, since they are vets, and we're going to give it, since we are neutral, we're going to let them speak if they'll actually come on. But you never know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, exactly. We'll see. Oh man. I was going to ask another question. I was going to ask you something. What was that fucking news story at? Man, I am all over the map right now on my stories right quick. No, we're not going to talk about that, right? And we're not talking about that either. And we're not talking. There's a lot of stuff right here we're talking about that's all Sergeant's Time related and shit. And I hate talking about politics and all this stuff. Oh, okay. So this was gonna go into the to kind of like sports a little bit. Okay. So everybody knows the legend, a quarterback, 49ers legend, San Francisco 49ers, Joe Montana, has invested $75 million in the legal marijuana industry. Who would have thought good, clean, and wholesome Joe Montana is into weed?
Why not? It's good business, especially out there in California. It's good business these days.
Montana says that he hopes that his investment will help relieve people fighting the opioid addiction. So why is it? Here we go back again. Why is it that it takes celebrities and everybody else, even if you've had individuals that have gone through this treatment and all this stuff, and people are debunking it like a motherfucker, debunking it like crazy, but then all of a sudden a fucking sports celebrity says, $75 million. I wish I had $75 million to invest in weed. What the fuck's he doing? Buying a whole field and shit? Is he buying some cartel motherfuckers? Is he smuggling immigrants? What the fuck is he doing?
See, I knew marijuana was going to be. Has made it when Marlboro put billions of dollars into it. Like that's when I know. Like when who was it? I know this was a pothead friend of mine when I was in college. But he always told me, he's like, because we talked about marijuana, and I think at the time I told him within like 20 years, the majority of the United States is going to be, you're going to be able to smoke pot or whatnot. And he's like, what the big catalyst is going to be when tobacco companies start moving away from tobacco and start moving away to the other green. And, he's very right. You're going to see, we already have a bunch of states that you can, recreational marijuana. And then you have even more states that allow medical marijuana. It's becoming more and more common. And, as we keep going on, probably within this decade, probably within before 2030, majority of the 50 states, like way over half, are going to have some kind of marijuana limits on there. And it goes back to public opinion. And what do the politicians do? What are they great at? Is being spokesperson for whatever fucking cause or whatnot. Right now, Joe Montana buying up medical marijuana, saying how it's good and all this other stuff, is going to push even more people, especially the old generation that loves that Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. This is how it's going to be. And then eventually it's going to keep snowballing until they still have that one bill in it's a dual legislate or it's a bipartisan bill that pretty much says federal government's going to have no say in marijuana and let the states decide. We're eventually getting to the point where the states will either have it or don't, and then hey, if you don't like the marijuana laws there, you either try to change it or move to a state that is a little more free. Go forth and conquer. But celebrities are always going to they back movements. The Me Too movement wasn't a real thing, because he had that, the lady who actually started the Me Too movement. It wasn't a real thing until you had like all these, actresses that, had, whether it's fake or not. I like to believe that they, I like to think, but I also like to not think that horrible things happen to them. But still, I like to think they're not lying. But it took them to make the hashtag Me Too actually something, even though this had been out for a hot second beforehand. It's the public spokesperson. We hold these people up and their opinions matter, but then we wonder why they say such stupid shit, like we should shove crystals up our vaginas and shit, or or Gwyneth Paltrow's latest fucking stupid ass craze, or somebody trying to say, oh, you should raise your kids this way. How many kids do you have? I have no kids. Oh, okay, cool. That's fucking spectacular.
I think you're right. There should be Minx brought it up about the Him Too movement as well. About what are you going to do about the women who falsely accuse guys of rape and all? And I'm not saying that does not happen. Like wife beaters and fucking rapists and stuff like that. Yeah, totally. And you got the proof and you dimed it out and all that. Don't fucking wait 10 to 15 to 20 fucking years and then come out. That's why the Army sexual assault policy, EO policy, is you have a time limit. You report it fucking now, or the case it's going to be harder for you to prosecute a case. That's the way it should be. You got something on somebody, you fucking, and it's a legit sexual assault, and it's, all that, and you feel like this happened and all that stuff, investigate the fuck out of it, but do it right quick. Don't wait 10, 15 fucking years when everyone else saw pictures of you with this individual, all happy, laughing, and joking around, and then the next thing you know, now the guy's an asshole because you didn't get a movie part. Now, the Weinstein issue and also the crap, yeah, he was a prick. There has been actual recorded incidences of him pulling some shit. Yep, definitely a fucking shit stick. Definitely the fact that he had blackballed certain up-and-coming actresses and all that. It answers a lot of questions. When you say, whatever happened to this actress that was starting to become famous and and all of a sudden, bam, she dropped off the map? Weinstein. You know what I mean? So that whole shit right there, you damn right. But then there's also been cases that's not really talked about of women that have made it up and guys that have served almost half their life in fucking prison due to the fact that they were falsely accused of that shit. I'm going to bring it up again. Anybody who does that falsely accuses somebody of rape and they're convicted and it's come to find out that it was false. I'm saying if it comes to find out and if there's evidence substantiating that this individual was wrongly put in prison, then you should serve the time of rape. So whatever the crime was that you accuse that individual of, that is the time that you serve. So not only do you get to serve the time that guy served, but you serve an additional time of accusing that guy. Again, only if it's substantiated and if only comes out in the wash that you truly did fucking make it up. We're going to take a break. Damn it. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
Put on your uniform right?
Expert Action Badge.
Show up to work on time.
Expert Action Badge.
Qualify on your weapon.
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
Find your guide on.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your normal warrior tasks and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Action Badge.
Looking up and fading out, serious shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown, nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. Constellation theme, mapping stars they're meant to be. Geminis are free of suicidal kings. This misty maze of me, so obvious yet never seen. Feeling though the fog will lift to find me lost at sea. I've been thinking a lot.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Blah, 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 blah. Welcome back to part 3 of the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Hanging out on this 28th January 2019. I'm broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence, broadcasting from the basement of the Pentagon, the Alamo or Area 51. You just don't know. Hell. Anyways, so welcome back. There's one more fucking sportsy like thing talking about. What were we gonna talk about? Wasn't there another sports event happening? Did we already talk about it?
Well, we have the Super Bowl that's happening this Sunday. We had the Pro Bowl that happened last weekend, which was, like most Pro Bowls, is boring as shit. Except Jason Witten kind of broke the MVP trophy when he tried to pick it up. But the big thing was there's still all this controversy surrounding the Super Bowl because of the blown call that was the pass interference call. That should have been against the Rams. You have the Saints that are saying that cost in the game, and I don't know how much you guys covered it when I was absent, but I'm gonna make a real quick hot take.
No, go for it. No, go for it. The reason why is because Bean Spanky fucked it all up. Go ahead.
You look here, you bunch of fucking pheasants. Your team lost that game regardless of that fucking call. Was that call incorrect? Extremely. It was the helmet to helmet, and it was pass interference. He literally just ran the guy over. I got you. You guys were up like 14 points up in the second half, getting to the second half, and you let them come back. Not only that, you got the ball. You only tied, and it's not like that was the last play of the game, and you weren't able to win. You went to overtime. The same way Tom Brady went to overtime with the Chiefs. You guys got the ball first. What happened? You had all the chances to beat the Rams, but Drew Brees threw a fucking interception, and you guys lost the game. Hey, guess what? When Tom Brady got the ball, they won the game. You know why? Because they drove it down the field and got a touchdown. You threw an interception. Does one play determine the whole game? No. It does not. I challenge anyone of any sports fan that won. It's like going after the guy who messed up the foul ball for the Cubs back in like the early 2000s. It was, and they're like, oh, they were going to go to the World Series. This was a divisional series. It wasn't even the World Series. That had, you don't know that the Cubs were going to keep going and actually go to win the World Series because of that. It was a one play. Same thing here. It was one play. There were several plays that maybe if they were called could have changed the outcome of the game. Several times where Jared Goff, the quarterback for the Rams, had his face mask pulled in one way or another. You had the one guy who jumped over the crowd and literally boot stomped the hell out of one of the guys' helmet on the ground. Several times where there was pass interference or grabbing or whatnot that could have changed the game had they have thrown the flag. One play does not change the entire game. Your team, the Saints, were up. It looked like the Rams were done because the Rams weren't looking good at all. The Saints had it. They were scoring points. They were making field goals. And it's, yes, was it a blown call? It was. Would they still have scored a touchdown had they got that call? We don't know. Drew Brees threw an easy pick in overtime. He very well could have threw a pick in the end zone, just like Tom Brady did against the Chiefs. Threw on that second drive, threw a pick right to a big ass defenseman in the end zone. We don't know, but to say that you didn't get to the playoffs because of this one play is obnoxious. It makes you guys look like shitty fans, and it makes you look like a bunch of bitches over there in Who Dat Nation.
Damn. Dude, you're throwing some serious.
Who dat not in the Super Bowl? The Saints.
You sprinkling some hate. You're sprinkling some serious fucking hate, bro. What's up with that?
The deal. The Rams earned their spot. Did the refs fuck it up? They did. It was an egregious call. My dad and I were watching. We both who were rooting for the Rams were both like had the hand, like the stereotypical hand in the air, like where's the flag? We both were like, where's the flag for that one? I don't understand why they didn't call it. I don't understand how they can see. You have people who are throwing flags for shit happening on the other side of the field, but can't see where the ball's going. It's not like it was like a weird, they threw it into the crowd and somebody got hit. It was no one out there. Everyone's watching where the ball is. You didn't see the guy just get throttled before the ball even got there. I got you there. It was a fucked up call. The NFL, but you have people that you have a United States legislator in Congress showing how this was a bad call and stuff like that on the House or Senate floor talking about this instead of legislating, talking about a football game. You have people who are suing the NFL and Roger Goodell because of this one play. You have people who are yelling at Roger Goodell and they're like, well, we should now look at all the it should be a challenge for pass interference and stuff like that because of this one play. You know what? Drew Brees had all the opportunities throughout the game to run away with it, and it looked like they were going to. And guess what? They had the ball first at overtime. You should have been able to win it there. You should have been at least able to get a field goal. Dear God, your kicker could hit it from like 57 yards. You only need to get it to like the 40-something in order to, but you threw Drew Brees threw an interception, a bogus throw, and guess what? The Rams capitalized on it because it gave them a chance. There were several flags that were missed on the Rams side, but no one, just because they weren't so outright egregious that they're like, oh, it changed the whole game. Shut up. I love Saints. I think Drew Brees is a great quarterback. I love the Saints. Hey, I didn't even care when they were getting paid for putting on extra hits on people. I'm like, get some. What I do care about is that you think your team is they're almost as enough as the Cowboy fans or Patriot fans. Like that, who that going to Super Bowl? Who that's now going to sit your ass on the couch with the rest of the teams because who that did not make the plays throughout the whole game. One play does not turn it out of a series. Hundreds of plays in one game, the one play does not determine everything. Yes, were they more likely going to be able to score a touchdown from where they were going to be at? Yes, they're more likely going to be. Was it for sure? Hell no, because you even see Tom Brady on the 5-yard line, who with the Patriots offense and stuff, which I learned some cool stuff about that. We'll talk about that later. But he threw a pick right in the end zone. It's Tom Brady. If there's anyone you expect to throw, you get within 10 yards, it's already a touchdown. I'll be surprised if they only settle for a field goal. But Drew Brees should have been able to do better. He didn't. They gave up the game. They lost. The Rams won. Give the Rams the respect they're due. Give Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and their head coach. Who do you know their head coach has a coach they pay just to pull him back so he doesn't get run over on the field?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, exactly.
I want that job. I don't even care. It's like, hey, let's pull you back. All right, cool. Oh, let me pull you back. That's a great job. Give the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, the respect they deserve because the Saints had all the chances pre-pass interference to put this game away, and they didn't. You even got the coin flip and got the ball first. Hey, touchdown wins. Field goal keeps you in the game and gives them a shot. Touchdown wins. You weren't able to do a field goal because you threw an interception. That's on the Saints. No one else, not the refs, the Saints. The Saints gave it up, the Rams didn't, and the Rams won. That's all that matters. Who dat nation? Good luck next year.
I hate you. I don't even know you. And I hate
fucking pheasants. I understand why y'all, the people are suing the NFL because of this. The legislators doing this bullshit, wasting time because of, yes, it was a sucky play, but you know what? You drive on. Your team should have still won it regardless.
Dude, man, I was playing sound effects in the background while you were just. I didn't want to play the other one because I don't want to get like copyright, so I was doing the I hate you and only you hate. Dude, you know, this has been like, well, the thing, guys, leave Flash alone. It's been like almost 3 weeks now. Yeah, it's been like almost 3 weeks that you've had no sports play.
Kind of like when you hold up like the the water hose or whatnot, and then you let it go, and it's the same thing. Just now, check this out. Since we're talking about the Patriots,
Yeah, fuck the Patriots. Everybody go.
The lineman for the defensive line, the right defensive tackle who lined up offsides. That's a play that could have altered the game because it gave Tom Brady another shot, which you never give Tom Brady. How do you win against the Patriots? You keep Tom Brady off the fucking field. That's how you win the fucking game. But lines up offsides, that was a big play. And that was a player-induced play. Like, how easy it is to not... Hey, there's a ball. Maybe I shouldn't be so far in front of it. But anyways, did you know the Patriots... Fuck the Patriots. Let's just get that out of the way. The Patriots do not have... their linemen, their offensive linemen are in almost every category are ranked either first, second, or third out of the whole NFL. In every offensive line category, plus and minus and all that stuff. Did you know that not one of those players are above a third-round pick from the draft? There's a third-rounder, there's a fourth-rounder, there's a seventh-rounder, there's a undrafted pick, and then there's another guy who I think was a former like fourth or fifth-rounder. But nobody is like how the Yankees, the Giants went after the guard, their second-round pick. They went after a guard. Will Hernandez or something like that. You know, a lot of people are going for like the Jason Longs and stuff like that. These like big ass offense. They got all these guys on fucking discount. Like they have one of the low. Like when it comes to offensive lines, they owe less money than they pay these guys less money than almost any other team. Yet they produce better than anyone else. That was the craziest statistic that I was like, no way. No way. And a guy from Yahoo Sports was like, yeah, they're all rated first, second, or third in every fucking category. Yet not one of them is a fucking like, you know, a superstar that was like a first round pick.
Well, it's safe to say that everybody is now a Rams fan. Everybody's now.
Everyone's a Rams fan.
Everyone's a Rams fan. I don't want to.
When Burkhead ran that for a touchdown, everyone went instantly, like 3/4 of the country went instantly Rams fans. I know I did. Like I kind of wanted to see the Rams instead of the Saints, but I would have been happy either way because the Saints are still a good team. But as soon as the Patriots won, I was like, well, Rams it is. Let's do it. And see, the Rams don't have a stupid ass saying like "Who dat?"
You know what? I was about to. Well, yeah, because they originally came from St. Louis, then they went to L.A. and they went back to
Suck too. Jason Garrett, even with a team full of all-stars, still gets his ass handed to him.
You know what? That reminds me. Did Sexual Chocolate ever get back with you on the fucking fantasy football?
Chocolate still hasn't. I need to send out. That reminds me. I need to send them in their email because we have stuff to send to them. But
okay, all right. So who is next? Who is below?
They have football in L.A. Not only did you had the Chargers move to L.A. as well as the Rams.
Correct. No, I'm talking about this fantasy football shit, dude.
I know. I'm answering the guy off.
Who's
that you don't care?
That's cool. Who? No, because we have some prizes that are out. Sexual Chocolate. You need to contact us and respond to the emails that we're sending you. Otherwise, the person that's second place is going to get your shit. So who was the second place one?
Oh shoot, I don't have it up. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this guy one more email. And I'll give him a week to respond, and if we don't get anything, we'll just move down the list. And
ooh, that sucks, man. It better not be one of the staff because we're not.
No, none of the staff broke like the
Gotcha.
halfway point. Like,
Gotcha.
It was me and Beefcake that really did did the best, and I think Beefcake did better. Beefcake lost, didn't make the playoffs by like one game. I was a couple of games out, so I wasn't going anywhere, and everyone else was we were all at the bottom. Like, you know, we're good for the radio and for military stuff, but when it comes to fantasy football, apparently this was not our year. But there's always next year, so pay attention if you want to take on which apparently is not a hard thing right now. take on the folks at WTF Nation Radio and US Army WTF Moments. You'll get your chance next football season. So come next August, we'll make some changes to our fantasy football operation, the WTF Nation Fantasy Nation. We're going to cut down a couple of teams, but we're going to pretty much the defending champ is the only one who will have an automatic spot. We're going to try to open it up to new people, and then we're going to have a waiting list for the folks who are on the team who are on this year, and then we're going to open up to new people. We're going to have we're hopefully going to try to have even more prizes because this year was kind of thrown together last minute. It was just kind of we should do this, and then we just did. So we'll have a little more time to prepare and plan. So this is going to be hopefully a little more spectacular than our first year. But man, I tell you what. I was really hurt that the Chiefs didn't win. I was really fuck Tom Brady. Whoever sent me that. Who sent me that? I can't even see who sent this. Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck that guy. But I won't lie. I love his trolling. He did a little video of them leaving the stadium, and he's dressed up, and he's just looking at his camera and just smiling, and then he kind of points the camera to Gronk. And Gronkowski, who actually said today that the Super Bowl could be his last game, and for all the people that hate Tom Brady, he said this isn't going to be his last game, so fuck. They didn't say anything. They just smiled. They just were like just. Gronkowski had like the better smile, but he had the more like, we're the Patriots. That's just what we do. The AFC sucks because no one could fucking. That's Kaz who sent that. Fuck you, Kaz. Fuck Tom Brady.
He's a known cheater. It even says in an article he's a known cheater. Did you hear about that little kid? Did you hear that little kid? That little kid did a science project.
They did a science project, yes. So this kid did a complete science project of all the different ways to prove that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, at least mostly Bill Belichick and the Patriots, are cheaters, and he won. Like, God bless that kid.
Like all the fucking teachers were like, yeah, they were all, of course, Rams fans now. Was it fucking Kentucky or something like that, right?
Something like that. I love it. Jake says, "Did you know the best players for the Patriots wear stripes every game?" Oh man, Tom Brady! I swear that boy. I have to say, and going back to their offensive line, that's pretty fucking impressive. Knowing that you have a 4-year-old, your franchise is a 4-year-old quarterback, and you have no stars on no outstanding like drafted stars as your offensive line. Yet you have to love and hate the Patriots at the same time because they hired the best people who find these diamond in the rough players who do awesome things. Like no one really, their defense is largely unknown, yet they shut people down. Like they have a couple of really good players that we know, but the big playmakers, no one really knows. No one knew Burkhead, yet Burkhead ran for a touchdown to end the game. Yes, they did draft Sony Michel from UGA, go Bulldogs, and he's been pretty stellar for him, which was good because I drafted Sony Michel. It's just like, I like him. Why not? But I mean, you have these guys like Edelman, this shorter white guy who's just like running these crisp routes and getting, and as long as Tom Brady puts the ball on target. I mean, you have these guys that shouldn't be this good, yet they are. It's, Tom Brady. You put Tom Brady on another team, he probably is not as good. He's good for this. He's good on this system. The Patriots are, and again, I hate the Patriots, but I hate them because I respect them enough to go fuck these guys. But they are a good team. That's why they've been consistent. Is they don't lose the big pieces. They consistently have no problem staying under cap space. They consistently have no problem filling gaps, except for the last couple of years. They really haven't had a running game. Last year and then mostly this year, they've actually kind of divvied it up, and it's helped Tom Brady not get hit as much. He only dropped back 90 times in the playoffs so far. He's only been touched like a handful of times. That's crazy. A bunch of no one higher than one third-round pick and a fourth, a fifth, or a fifth, a seventh, and then undrafted are protecting your franchise quarterback who doesn't even have to really get moved. The one time he does, though, of course, they called a penalty because they touched his face mask with his forearm, and that was a roughing the passer, which was a bullshit call. But hey, you don't see the Chiefs going, losing their fucking minds over that. Why? Because the Chiefs could handle a fucking loss. They're fucking used to it. But apparently the prima donnas over there with the fucking Saints and who dat fucking nation, oh my God, we're just going to disregard that, our quarterback threw a, interception. But by all means. But yeah, in the Pro Bowl was yesterday. It was throughout the week. They had a lot of skills challenges. The Pro Bowl was held in Orlando. The cool thing about this, it used to be held in Hawaii, but it's so hard. And it's hard to get out to Hawaii for a vacation, regardless, let alone for the NFL Pro Bowl. So they moved it away from Hawaii over the last couple of years. And one of the cool things about it was you have a lot of these players who've been interacting with a lot of the fans. More importantly, the younger fans. It did bring a little bit of warmth to my heart seeing some of these guys playing catch with these young kids, these kids that are like between like 7 and 14, being good role models. I did appreciate that part of the Pro Bowl and throughout the week.
Yeah, that was pretty cool for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta maintain interest in the sport, and you gotta maintain people want to keep playing football and stuff like that. Same thing with baseball. I've loved that especially I feel like in the last decade, players have been caring a little bit more about playing, having fun with the kids. Mike Trout for the Los Angeles Angels, a lot of the times he'll actually play catch in the outfield with kids in the stadium, in the seats. To me, that's outstanding. But the Pro Bowl, it was the skill challenges. They had a lot of fun.
Oh wait, hang on. Terry, what's up? You're in the chat. Terry's in the chat. Terry, what's up? What's up, my man? What you been up to, Terry? My man, Terry. Who you going for, Terry? This Super Bowl? Are you gonna go for the Rams or are you gonna go for the Patriots? Long time no see, brother. How you been, man? God, man, it's good to see everybody coming back and hanging out and shit. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. The Pro Bowl what was the charity event? What was the kids thing event that they did this year? And it wasn't. It's like fucking like at the tip of my tongue. Fuck.
You know what? I'm trying to look for it, and I don't even remember what they were doing it this year.
Yeah,
it was a fun game. It was great to seeing all these great players. These are all Pro Bowlers. These guys are the best on their teams, and it's it's great to have them out there. You could tell during the game, no one was really trying to really hit somebody, which it's a fun game. But it was fun. It was funny seeing Jason Garrett still get his ass kicked 26-7. And everybody's like, I guess it was a team full of stars, and he still can't score more than 7 points.
Exactly.
But it was great because you had Deshaun Watson, you had Patrick Mahomes, you had Mitchell Trubisky. The draft class from 2 years ago, which was said to be one of the worst draft classes, yet 3 of them are on the Pro Bowl team. 3 of them, did Deshaun Watson make? No. Yeah, they did. 3 of them made the actual playoffs, so it's funny to see that. And Patrick Mahomes, I love him. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to do great things for the Chiefs. So don't lose hope over there. But it was cool seeing, like Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley, both of them kicking ass as running backs for NFC. Just the NFC just got their ass kicked 26-7. But it's like who's line anywhere. No one cares about the scores. It's all about kind of having fun. And it was an ugly environment because it was rainy. Ugh, not so much fun. All right, well man, it's already 10:30. Let's go. Since we're talking sports,
yeah,
we're going to skip over to baseball.
Go for it.
Because I want to bring up these 2 things. The big thing about this offseason was the fact that former Orioles then traded to the Dodgers, Manny Machado, third baseman, and Bryce Harper, the outfielder for the Washington Nationals, both were expected to command huge price tags by their illustrious suitors, the many suitors that were coming after them. You have Manny Machado, who is in his mid-20s, looking for a long-term 8 to 10 year deal, which even at 26 only puts him at 36. I mean, you had people that are getting 10-year deals at 31. So, I mean, that's not, looking for somewhere around 250 to 300 million. And then you have Bryce Harper definitely looking for the 10-year deal, looking for $400 million. Was given he was the only one who's actually been given a pre off-season offer by the Nationals for, I think it was like 10 years. I think it was 10 years, 300 million. But he said no, or I'm going to find somewhere else. The funny thing is, not one of those fuckers have made a deal yet. Both of them remain homeless because nobody wants them. Manny Machado has gotten two offers. One of them, most notably, is by the White Sox, which are considered to be the favorites to pick up Manny Machado. Offered him 7 years for like $250 million. A lot less than the price tag he was looking for. Bryce Harper, no one's made him an offer since. He's gone and talked to other teams, but nobody wants to deal with it. Why? Because you have players that just aren't consistent. Manny Machado to me is the better player for the money. If I'm giving them both the same deal, Manny Machado to me is the better offensive person and the defensive person. Bryce Harper is a lot more attitude, and he's a little too inconsistent. But when he is consistent, he's fucking phenomenal. The Yankees, who were going to be picking up Manny Machado, who have made a bunch of other off-season pickups, have yet to actually make Manny Machado an offer. They already came out and said no to Bryce Harper. The Phillies, who were we're going to try to get one, or we're going to try to get both, have really made no offer at all. Right now, the only one who's made an offer is the White Sox, and they're actually close to pulling their offer because Manny Machado has not made his deal because he wants something else.
I think he wants more. I think he's going to try to pull more fucking money out of this shit.
He was, and the problem is, no one. The Yankees have picked up other people. The Red Sox, who they thought might want to try to pick up one of these guys, kind of like they did with JD Martinez, to make sure the Yankees or somebody else in the AL East doesn't pick him up. You have these NL teams that they're going to make a move, especially the Phillies. The Phillies and the Mets, or especially the Phillies, are expected to. They're trying to get back to their former glory when they had Chase Utley and Ryan Howard and stuff like that. No one's really making a move because the price tags is too high, and those the days of the big ticket contracts are gone. You had the A-Rod with the 10-year and whatever. The Robinson Cano was like one of the last ones, which was 10 years, and now the Mariners signed on for that bullshit. Then you had Albert Pujols, who's like limping his way to retirement with the St. Louis Cardinals, who I don't understand why they don't just bench his ass and kind of force him to retire, but still he can produce, as quotations as I can do. The time of that kind of contract is over with, and unfortunately, the only person that I see who has the ability to get that kind of contract would be Mike Trout if he decides to go a free agent next year and not stay with the Angels. That might be the only one, because he's both a consistent player and a great outfielder, great defensive and offensive. He's got what both Manny Machado and Bryce Harper don't have, and he's got it in spades. But it's kind of interesting because Manny Machado and Bryce Harper both aren't getting the big contracts. It's going to hurt other young players who are looking for that big contract, because it sets precedence. No longer are these clubs trying to spend all that money. Besides the Red Sox last year, and the Yankees have used to do that in the 90s, but everyone's trying to be more price conscious because those luxury taxes hurt like a bitch. So everyone's pulling back. So it's going to set a precedent. We'll see what happens if Manny Machado or Bryce Harper actually make a deal before catchers and pitchers report in March. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. There's other everyone else has been picking up. The Yankees have picked up two different Zach Britton. They re-signed. They traded for him from the Orioles. They re-signed him. They signed Ottaviano from who was a free agent, and he was with the A's. The A's actually picked up Zach Greinke in a 3-team trade. Who was there's been a lot of movement, but none of the big names have gone anywhere. You still have the former closer from the Red Sox who still hasn't found a home because he's trying to get a price tag that's just not going to happen anymore. It's everyone wants that Chris Sale money. They want the Strong money, but no one wants to actually realize that you missed that boat. Sorry. It's kind of like when you try to do that. You try to re-enlist, and your buddy got that $40,000 bonus, and they're like, "Well, I can maybe get you one of 3 stations you can pick from. That's all you're going to get out of this."
But it did it. I think honestly, more franchises are not going to have those large, big ticket contracts due to the fact of the kids are now getting smarter. The newer players coming in are getting smarter on how the owners are and how the managers are, and they're going to see the attraction from other clubs. Just give them a little bit of taste of what. Let's say, for instance, you're playing for the Yankees, and then you're going to have another team try to court you to get another, to get a bigger contract. I think now the trend is that the younger players, not at the fault. I think it's not the management. I think it's the younger players are forcing those short-term contracts. If that makes any sense.
I mean, everyone's trying to play the money ball. That's one thing that you have. Like you have the Athletics who started kind of that whole where they worked off of, really paying attention to analytics. And then you have other GMs, Brian Cashman, for example, who's been playing, who's finally started playing the whole money ball type of thing for the Yankees, who got all these guys that came out of the farm work that we didn't originally have by getting rid of players that were just pricey. And that was all, and other teams have been doing it. You have the Nationals that have actually started, and they actually have a pretty good lineup going on. You have the Mets that are starting to do that, even though they cleared out their whole farm system 3 years ago. You have Detroit that's trying to redo that. You have a lot of teams that are trying to, that one star player is just no longer it for a team. You can't expect the Barry Bonds to come out there and hit dingers every time he gets up there. You expect people to just, to win. Then you need a team to win, and that's kind of where baseball is going now. Speaking of baseball, I'm very excited because we have the announcement for the Hall of Fame. The people who are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, including for the first time ever in Hall of Fame history, Mariano Rivera, the former closer for the New York Yankees, is a 100% unanimous decision for the Hall of Fame. You only need 75. What do you call it? You only need 75%. You need at least 75% of the votes, and the voters are the sports writers and stuff like that, all across the country. Let's see if I'm gonna. Bam. Hold on 1 second. You're the sports writers from all across the country that vote. Now there was a lot of people who thought, oh, why not? There's a former New England writer who's like, I'm not going to vote for Mariano Rivera, the Sandman. Well, guess what? He did. Very excited about that. He is the first unanimous. First unanimous decision for the Hall of Fame. Very excited about that. Man, I'm behind. It's not that. It's another one is you had Mike Mussina, who was on his last leg. This was his last chance to get. So they only give you so many chances. I think it's like you get like 4 years or something to get in once you hit the eligibility for the Hall of Fame, and then if you don't, that's it. It's great. You have and Mike Mussina, who got in with like 76%, was able to get across. I'm very excited about Mariano Rivera. But then you had designated hitter Edgar Martinez, He made the cut this year. And then also Doc Holliday, talking about the Phillies and their former glory with Utley and Ryan Howard. That's when they had Roy Halladay, who was just striking fools out. That's why they call him Doc Holliday. So there's 4 people that made it through. Closer Mariano Rivera, arguably the best closer in baseball, period. Designated hitter Edgar Martinez, who bounced from a couple different teams. Roy Halladay and Mike Mussina. Mike Mussina, who actually split time in his career between the Orioles, where he became a star, and the New York Yankees, where he solidified himself as a star, actually decided that he's actually not going to have a logo on his hat when he's enshrined, which I think is a pretty classy move. Mariano Rivera, along with Edgar Martinez, who've been played for the same team their whole career, will stay the same. Will wear their former team colors, which is pretty cool. But it was a really cool draft class, and then it makes people wonder: will Derek Jeter, one of the best shortstops and a classic Yankee, will go up there, Joe DiMaggio and Babe Ruth and stuff. Will he be the next unanimous, or will he just miss it? But I really think he's going to be at least he's going to get the first year, like, no doubt. But props to Mariano Rivera, even Metallica, who if you don't know, if you never watched Mariano Rivera, whenever he came out, they called him, his nickname was the Sandman. So he had Enter the Sandman by Metallica. So even they did a little video, congratulating him. It was pretty cool stuff for for the baseball fans out there. But pitchers and catchers don't report until March, which is just around the corner, considering that we're knocking on the door of February. And then across sports, you have NHL and the NBA are in full swing. Not a lot of separation. There's some teams that are horrible and some teams that are doing really good. The big news in the NBA is one of the stars from one of the stars from the I think it's like Louisiana Pelicans. Fucking Pelicans. Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans actually came out. He's a star. If you've probably seen him, he's the big tall guy who's got one eyebrow, literally one just big ass eyebrow. But he's a star and a team of Oblivion came out and said, I will not be re-signing with this team at all, and I'm requesting a trade. Now you have the other 31 teams that are trying to put together a package to actually get the Pelicans, who have come out, their GM has come out and said that there is no way in hell they're going to trade Anthony Davis, but you have all these people that are trying to see what kind of package they put together to entice the Pelicans to part with Anthony Davis, who really could turn a good team into an amazing team. But that's the big news over there in the NBA. In the NHL, they had their All-Star game too. Granted, it's the NHL, so not as much people care unless you're a big hockey fan. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of fans came out. They were able to do the Metropolitan Division was able to All-Stars won, and they were able to donate $1 million to one of the to one of the charities they were sporting. But they're having a lot of fun. We won't see any, the playoffs don't start for either one of these teams until we get to the end of spring and early summer. And then outside of that, that's your big sports news. All right, well, let's play for the folks at home. Who do you think is going to win? Saints? Saints aren't in it. Saints aren't in it.
I don't give a fuck. I don't
Rams?
care. I'll be honest with you. I want the Patriots to lose. That there is no, I don't want to, or what's my best team or whatever. I just want the Patriots to lose. I think that it gets to the point where it's so boring, and that to the point where stop. He's been beat already. I mean, why? Why? In other words, why have it? I mean, why the Patriots going to go to the Super Bowl, and it's like the whole time. How is it not fixed? How is it? There is no fucking way statistically that a team could be that fucking good without any type of favoritism, fixing, buying or whatever, either or Irish Mafia, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I honestly think that there's no it is statistically impossible for the Patriots to be that fucking good to have so many fucking Super Bowl wins that nobody.
This is the 1900s where they rigged the World Series. We're talking. This is the NFL, which is constant scrutiny. The Patriots actually, I thought, in the first half of the season, there's no way in hell they were making the playoffs. They look shitty. But the weird part is, I know what you're saying, because it does feel like there's a conspiracy. How the hell did the Patriots? The problem is you have a 40-year-old who throws with the best of them. But he never is on his back. When you can get to Tom Brady, you win games. No one ever gets to Tom Brady. Why? Because they moneyballed the shit with all the statistics to get guys that are unknown to anyone else. They're not star linebacker, tackles or guards, and they're able to protect them. The numbers say it. Tom Brady got sacked one time in the playoffs. One time. You know how many everyone else is getting tossed around. Tom Brady stays on his feet. You give Tom Brady time, Tom Brady will make a play. He doesn't even run. He's not Trubisky or even Drew Brees runs. Tom Brady doesn't. If Tom Brady runs, it's like there's no other play and there's a giant avenue and he's going to slide 5 minutes before the guy actually gets to him. You give Tom Brady time. The wide receiver, you're as a defensive, as a linebacker, if you're on assignment like a tight end or something, you can only stick with that guy for. So I only say that because I was a linebacker. You can only stick with that guy for so long before he's going to shake you. Even as a defensive back, there's only so long you're going to be able to shake a guy. If you give, if you're able to, that's why it's important for the defensive tackles and ends to get to that quarterback. To give him no time, because you give the wide receivers and the tight ends time, they will get space, and that's all Tom Brady needs. If you look at it, hell, watch what fucking the cool thing about that game was the fact that Tony Romo, who somehow has learned the power to read defenses, even though he couldn't when he was fucking with the Cowboys, was calling the plays out simply. He was like, watch, he said, the safety's down, they're going to throw it right over the middle. And what happened? The guy comes out on a slant and up, bam! He's got the ball for like a 15-yard gain. And it was weird watching Tony Romo call this shit out. Hold on, I think my computer's about to die.
No, yeah, whatever. It was yeah. So it was fixed, is what I'm fucking saying. Need I say fucking more? It was uncanny that Tony Romo was calling that stuff out. Uncanny. Right. Okay. Yeah. I totally
like I was saying.
I totally think he was. You're right. I was saying.
There's no way you can fix a game like that. It's not like baseball where you can kind of.
But Tony Romo was calling. But Tony Romo, look, when Stephen Smith, look, Stephen Smith even said himself, there's no way that he could have done all that. He should have been a coach. He was calling it, and every time he'd say something, the play would fucking happen. Well, no shit. Who do you think had the fucking play card? I'm just saying. That's just me. But
maybe. Like Tony Romo has the play card. No, it's weird, but when you're up that, you can see the defense. Hell, I was even calling because I was like, wow, look, there's no one covering out down the middle, and all of a sudden they throw it. Or I'm like, hey, look, they're not protecting the box at all. And they would run it down their throats. I mean, Tom Brady has been doing this for a long time. For a guy who was a fourth round pick, strange enough, the Patriots have made their championships off of players they are not first round star studded. They won the national championship. The Patriots have moneyballed the shit out of it and have gotten guys who have gone undrafted, who have gone late in the draft. And they've picked them up and turned them into a program that Bill Belichick has down to a T, and has made it to where they win Super Bowl after Super Bowl or Super Bowl appearance, or at least an AFC appearance. I mean, it's fucking irritating that I'm thinking, man, the Rams and the Chiefs, what a cool Super Bowl that'll be. That was kind of like when the Cubs and Indians were in the World Series, and I was all excited because it was new blood. That made it to the final series. Cool story. Same thing. Thought the Chiefs were going to be able to do it. Of course, you have to be fucking offsides and give Tom Brady a fucking chance. But Tom Brady, all he needs is the ball. If the Chiefs would have been able to stop him and let Mahomes on the field, they probably would have had a chance. But the fact that they didn't, and Tom Brady knew how to win against the Chiefs by keeping their offense off the field, he drove that thing down the field and won. And won it. They made the defense look so weak and slow because they were. Because the longer the game goes, the better Tom Brady and the Patriots get. Now, I think the Patriots are not going to win the Super Bowl. I think the Rams will narrowly, maybe by 3 points, by a safety or by 3 points, are going to just narrowly break, push past in Atlanta. That's actually embracing, getting ready for all this crazy cold weather vortex, happening down in Atlanta. But I think even in the dome down there, I think the Rams have a better running game, as long as Todd Gurley is on point. And Wes Anderson, a guy seemingly who came out of nowhere, is like the untapped running back. This guy looks like a fatter fullback, but still, and it has barely played all season, is running people over because he's a huge motherfucker. I don't think the Patriots defense is ready for that.
Fixed. It's fixed. Fixed. I'm calling it right now. It's fixed. If the Patriots win, it's fixed. If the Rams win, awesome.
Well, I think I have faith, and I think the Rams are going to win this one, and it's going to be glorious to see the Patriots go to 2 Super Bowls and lose 2 Super Bowls.
Okay. Well, hey, real quick, what do we got going on? We got a guest coming on. What was that? February? When is that? We got a guest coming up. It's the fucking. It is.
So on February 7th, which is next Thursday.
Next Thursday, that's right.
Not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we have Joseph Terry, retired Army Sergeant Major for the Non-Commissioned Officers Association. Sergeant Major Terry is the Executive Director of the Non-Commissioned Officer Association. That's NCOA. And we'll be coming on Sergeant's Time to talk about what the organization has done. The NCOA is currently a strong voice on Capitol Hill, and with the Veterans Administration and their members around the world are making a difference in their local communities. As the Executive Director, he's responsible for overseeing its daily operation, leading a dedicated headquarters staff that serves over 50,000 members worldwide. The NCOA is a 501c organization that was established in 1960 to enhance and maintain the quality of life for non-commissioned officers and petty officers in all branches of the armed forces, active duty, National Guard, Reserve, veterans, widows, and their families. So we're super excited about having them come on. We are working on other stuff. We have other organizations that some big names too, some big organizations in the Army that are that we're in talks right now about
I can't wait.
on the show. Super excited. We'll once we finalize them, we are going to announce them. But we do have some cool announcement. The great and powerful Minx is returning to Tied Up Tuesday next week, so there's something to look forward to on your Tuesday show. But tomorrow we have Owl, who will do his swan song for the last Tied Up Tuesday with Owl. Wednesday is our Donza Day. Thursday is Sergeant's Time. Friday's still Donza Day right now.
Yeah,
but we got some good
swan song.
Yeah, brother. Friday we still have we're training up new hosts that hopefully will refill our Friday show. But Saturday we have our latest episode of Tinfoil Times with Jay Reddy and Pookie, and then Sunday it's Team Old. Kicking it with Cause and Owl. Love that show. They've been pulling in numbers like nobody's business.
They've been some rocking numbers.
And don't forget, you're here with Ice and Flash on the Monday edition. Don't forget to check us out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, the TuneIn app. We're on Mixer. Shout out to our Mixer folks and the streamers and everyone out there. Don't forget, we're on. You can go to WTF Nation Radio and download the podcast there, or go to iTunes, and type in the search bar WTF Nation Radio, subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you ever think, hey, I want to be part of the WTF Nation Radio team, cool, go to WTFNationRadio.com, hit the About Us. There's a Join Us tab. You fill out the application, tell us about yourself, why you want to be a part of us. We're going to talk to you, interview you, and you see if you're a good fit. And then if you are, you're going to join the WTF Nation Radio team and help bring entertainment, information, and a lot of fun to the active duty service member, veterans out there listening everywhere. Did I get it all? I think I got it.
You got it all, man. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome back, dude.
Yeah.
I know you were moving and you had some, you were getting some stuff set up and all that. It's good to have you back and rattle on and fucking throw your rants and shit.
Started kicking in, so we're good to go.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight on this Monday edition on the WTF Nation Radio with myself, Ice, and Flash on 28 January, broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence. So, y'all, thanks for coming, and shots. See you.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport, now sit back, relax, and watch us through the hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. We'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, 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 ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, 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 dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.